On the marquee Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn. Good afternoon, Quad Cities. Thank you for tuning in to Don't Hassle Us Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. A little late start there. I'm busy trying to move things around on the Facebook live feed that we got going on, so I make sure that I have Bomber in there and myself, and T-Row will be walking in any minute. But yes, it's Thursday, March 19th, 2020. It's noon. It's still raining, and that's all right. I mean, it's going to go away eventually. But I think Bomber, like you and I were talking about. Welcome to the show, Bomber.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
How's quarantine working out for you?
Oh, quarantine's fine. Quarantine's fine. If for those of you out there, by the way, apps and networks, things just for like in a lighter note of things, right? NFL Game Pass, which offers replays of past, regular, and postseason games and episode shows like Hard Knocks, Mic'd Up, and A Football Life, is available for free starting today.
Nice.
Through May 31st. So you can go to NFL Game Pass and you can get that online. You can put that on your smart TV. You can watch it on or stream it however you want to. NBA League Pass, which offers replays of every games from the 2019-2020 season, I guess if you want to do that, plus an expansive archive of classic games and content will also be made available for free. And right now, MLB Network and NHL Network are centering their coverage around classic games as well. So there's some of those, if we look at things we want to, but on things about the MJ documentary, that MJ, I say that because...
You don't like saying his full name?
No. I'm fine with his full name.
Say it, Jay.
Michael Jordan.
There
I guess
go.
MJ, it makes it seem like I know him or something like that. Right now, ESPN has said that any original content project that we can conceivably move up, we are obviously considering that, but the reality is that the production of The Last Dance, which is the title of this 10-part series, has not yet been completed. So they are limited to their releasing it right away.
Okay.
All right.
Well, right now is the time to get the ratings.
Yeah, I don't know how it's not. I mean, they started doing previews of it a year ago. But so for everybody out there, including those yahoos at Barstool Sports.
Yahoos.
Yeah, who said, like, we need to bully them.
Those rascals.
We need to bully ESPN into releasing this. Right now, we demand it. Because we're Barstool Sports.
Oh.
Exactly. It's not gonna happen.
Neanderthals.
Yeah. The other thing that we talked about yesterday, Kakert kind of brought it up. Like, why don't we start live streaming things like a Game of Horse or whatever else? Players getting together. It's Adam Silver. Listen to Kakert, and it's something he said. It's not. He's open to the idea type of thing. His quote is that it says, "Is there a protocol where players can be tested and quarantined and isolated in some way?" And they could compete against one another? Maybe. Maybe if it's for a giant fundraiser, because people are stuck at home, and I think they need a diversion. They need to be entertained. That's what Adam Silver said on SportsCenter.
I don't disagree with that.
No, not one bit.
But one-on-one is not breaking any rules of quarantine, like social distancing. I mean, Horse, you're not standing that close to somebody, right? You don't have to be all up on them. Are you talking about, like... different hoops, same hoop, together? I don't understand.
Well, one-on-one type of thing, if you do that, like the idea is kind of like, there's a Netflix movie, High Flying Bird, that involves locked out NBA players streaming games they play in a gym. It was a subplot of that, and it's real life. Now, could they put together like an NBA Jam type of thing where it's like a video game when you play 2-on-2?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
That'd be cool.
I actually like Horse, though.
Yeah, I like Horse, too. I grew up playing that with my grandpa my whole life. And the last game we ever played, I won. And I was like, I'm retired.
That's how you go.
I'm out. I'm not coming back like MJ.
You go out on top. Yeah.
I'm going out on top.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, today is the 25th anniversary of when he came back and played his game after his first retirement.
I always thought that was a bad idea.
Well, he came back and won three titles.
but I always thought that was bad. I was like, go out on top. He
did go on, and he did the first time. He went out on top, and then he went out on top the second time, and then
I'm talking about when he changed his number and he was 45.
He came back as 45 during this time right now.
Yeah, I don't like that. You're 23, baby. I still have my 23 Jordan jersey. Still have it. You can't wear it. They're not really flattering to the female form, but it's fun to have. Maybe my son will wear it.
1995, do you know how many jersey sales they sold at 45 because people felt like they were out of the loop? I mean, tons.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I will never own a 45 jersey.
He wore 45 because that's what he wore for the Birmingham Barons when he was in the White
You know
Sox.
who else is number 45?
Hold on. Maybe I can think of that. Because that's a really good question because I like to think of my birthdays as in numbers of 45.
Okay.
And who else was 45?
Like probably one of the biggest people out there right now is number 45.
Gary Fensick.
Donald Trump.
I like what you do there. But Gary Fensick was 45 for Gary Fensick was 45 for the 46 zone for the Chicago Bears. He was a safety.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't
know
that.
Just to do this for you real quick, I'll put this for you, okay? It's Gary here, and I'm Mr. Clean. They call me Hitman. Don't know what they mean. Throw it long and watch me run. I'm on my man, one-on-one. Buddies, guys, covered down to the bone. That's why they call it the 46 zone. Come on, everybody. Let's scream and yell. We're going to do the shuffle, then ring your bell. That's right. I know Gary Fensick's rap from the Super Bowl Shuffle.
I said it before. I'll say it again. I want to walk around in his brain one of these days. It's got to be like an MC Escher drawing, just random and crazy.
You can throw anybody out. I still know the Super Bowl Shuffle, but we're discussing.
I was listening to you guys.
Oh, were you?
One-on-one.
You're a company man.
Wow, that's
when you're driving here, not rushing, driving the speed limit because it's out there.
I got news for everybody.
Oh, what's the news?
Got news here. Am I live?
Yeah,
is my mic on?
Yeah.
Yep.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wow. So, you guys, I hope you didn't need that. Well, if he does, I'll take it back. But here's the deal.
Quit teasing.
Okay, what's
Vans
the deal?
Pizza and More. Out by the Plex.
Yes.
During these hard times.
During these hard times.
They're going to be open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Delivery all day.
Okay.
Wow.
They're going to deliver to all of Bettendorf and all of LeClaire.
All right.
Wow. Good.
These are the deals they're going to run the entire time. $5 single burger baskets.
Mm-hmm.
$7 doubles. This is a double, by the way.
You have
I'm
in front of
gonna
you.
eat it right in front of you.
Yeah, on Facebook Live. It's
Smells
on there
delicious,
right now. They can
everyone.
see it.
All right.
Yeah.
$5 personal 2-topping pizza.
$5 personal 2-topping pizza. Okay.
Or a $7 personal specialty pizza.
$5.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
7 or 5. 7 for the specialty, 5 for the personal.
Okay.
And then a medium. All mediums are $9, but you can't go half and half.
Okay.
And larges are all 12.
All right.
That's
slow
any
down.
pizza.
Let's do it again. All right. $5 burger basket.
$5 single burger basket, $7 double.
You got a double with tater rounds, hash
Tater
rounds,
rounds.
whatever you want to call them. I love tater rounds.
They're so good.
They're called tater tots.
Well, those are flattened tater tots, so
They're
they're round.
tots.
Those are hash rounds.
Put it in your mouth.
I will.
You too.
$5 personal 2-topping pizza, up to 2 toppings. $7 personal specialty pizzas. $9 mediums. And $12 larges. That's any pizza.
That's an amazing deal.
As many toppings as you want.
Tell you what.
You can't beat that.
No, you can't beat that. And
On
that's
the ride
that's a good sized burger,
on the ride
too.
here.
Oh, yeah.
On the ride here, I called and said, listen, I didn't get the chili in the crock pot. It's not done. We're going to have to put it off till Friday, whatnot.
We're getting Vans tonight, baby.
That now I just found out. I said, you need to figure out now so that we get to it. Because some places, if you even create the atmosphere like we do in our home, like, what do you want to have? I don't know.
Ugh,
Until the point where you finally do it, and then you make a phone call, and they're like, our kitchen closes. It closed at 8. You're like,
You know what, though? During this time, we're big Grubhub and Uber Eats people. We do that a lot. I don't want to say that I'm lazy, but I'm lazy. So, like, when my kids want something, I will order it, and I'll pay the extra. It's almost $20 every time you do that extra out of your pocket. So, during this time, we have to ration, and not only, our supplies, we have to ration our funds as well. So, like I was telling all my friends the other day, order from local, like this, like Vans. You don't have that $20 extra fee, that delivery fee. You don't have that mandatory tip on there. You do tip anyways.
Well, they have carry out, so if you can,
Right, but I'm just saying, don't give money to big corporations like that. Go to your local restaurants and do it that way.
Now, the other cool thing, guys, I found out when I was there from our friends at PFG, because they're out there trying to help. I mean, they're in the same boat as us. They sell the food to these places.
Right.
There's a website, and I want to say, hopefully I don't screw this up. It's Quad City Emergency Delivery.
No, I plugged it yesterday. Matt
Okay.
Stern started it.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
started it on Facebook, and we
All right,
plugged
well, I
it as
didn't
soon
know
as
you
he
guys
did.
had plugged that yesterday. I missed
Yeah,
that.
man. I shared it on my
This burger
page
is
too.
so good, by the way. I think Mark should call the double the T-Roy double. And
Double
T-
dip.
The T double.
It should
and
be
then
the
he
bomber.
can call the single can be the Mark single.
It should be the bomber because I'm T-Roy with a D cup, double. Hey,
not wrong. It's not wrong.
we got a high five with our elbows.
We'll work on that.
Social distancing.
You're putting it in your mouth.
I love it when he tells me that.
Congratulations to Thomas Warner, the Norwegian musher, just completed the Iditarod.
What's a musher?
Well, he's on a sled, and there's 10
Oh,
dogs.
the dogs.
10 dogs. And in 9.5 days, he completed the 1,000-mile trek through the Alaskan wilderness. It took him 9 days, 10 hours, 37 minutes, and 47 seconds.
That's a sport.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I always feel
For
bad
the
for the dog.
dog.
I feel bad for the dogs, though.
Oh, those dogs love that, man.
I know, but I read a documentary about how many don't make it because it's strenuous on them.
Well, yeah.
I know, it makes me sad.
Also today,
Puppers.
in sad news,
Put it in your mouth.
sad news.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We need more of this?
This is the first time since 1994, during the Major League Baseball strike, where there will be no Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, National Hockey League, National Football League games for at least 7 consecutive days. That year, we went 23 straight days without those sports from August 12th to September 3rd, when finally the NFL kicked off the season the following day.
Okay.
I know. I don't want to see that. I don't want to break that record.
I don't.
We
We
are.
might. Yeah, we're gonna. I think. Here's what it is. You got rolled
We
with
are.
punches, man.
It's that way. It's 15 more days.
Hey, fill me in on what I missed the part. What are the idiots from Brussels Sports doing?
Oh no, that was when they said like we need to. They went and they said we need to social media bully ESPN into releasing the Michael Jordan documentary ahead of time. And ESPN said we can't do it. It's not
They
done-
used the
it's not
word
done.
bully.
Yeah, they actually societal and bullying were in the same tweet.
That's
And
disgusting.
you could, you're not on Twitter, Bomber, but yeah,
I'm
it's.
not.
I said, and I actually thought the same thing that people were going to be like, this is the wrong word. I just said, I think my tweet was, no need to use society or bullying if you don't think they're trying to do it right now. You're delusional. Was what I wrote.
very
back.
good.
'Cause,
Perfect.
yeah, and obviously they did. ESPN had to make a statement.
Like, who even says that?
Barstool?
You told me about him. I didn't know this.
Just stay far, far away from anything
Yeah,
if you want
I-
to lose your mind.
I'm gonna unfollow them. I don't like it.
Doucher.
All of them.
Sure.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the worst part I can say about that is it has a trickle down effect, and there's like parody accounts where like high schools have will be like Barstool,
But North Barstool, they have.
yeah, North Scott does.
So they want to.
Yeah, and they write things on there that probably shouldn't be said. And when they grow, the people who are in charge of those accounts will grow up and they'll wish they never wrote those things about to other people because it's not very nice.
No. And you said they were anti-women. That's what sold me right there.
Barstool is very.
I didn't know that. I've never seen anything, but I'm not on Twitter, so I only see Facebook Live.
They
stuff
had a
that
show on
do.
ESPN that lasted one day. When finally the women that work for ESPN
We're
said
like,
it
"Cut."
showed all these things. They're like, "You're really putting this person on," and they're like, "Oh wait."
Like,
Yeah.
cut it out,
Yeah.
Uncle Joey.
I mean, if we wanted to,
Is that a-
Remember?
Yeah.
yeah, it's a funny
Cut
reference.
it out.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. Bye.
yeah. Anyway, T. Roy.
Did you miss me?
Totally.
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh my God, it wasn't the same.
I love my food.
That's
I'll tell you
good.
what, that burger.
Didn't
that
last
is-
long.
No.
Well, I tell you what, the thing is like so. Again, the medium, large, or whatever else. My kids love the pizza. We love the Rizzo that they have there. That's the garlic butter, and then you have the steak and the green peppers and everything. Like I am a fan of that. So I like Vans, and I think that's. I think I now I don't need to send another message or text and say like, "What are we eating tonight?" It's my fault that I didn't make
this
it.
burger was made by Mark Van Severn himself.
Wow.
You know it was
it's
made with love.
then you
It's 'cause
know
you're a
exactly what I was
celebrity.
gonna say, yeah. Then you know it's made on love. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Obviously, we're still.
By the way, what
talking
is
about-
the booze doing over here? I
That's
love
mine.
that.
No,
Uh-huh.
don't.
You know, I never come empty-handed.
Yeah. Yesterday
gift
we
for
talked
my
about
fellers.
Tom Brady is going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Troy got to call and tell us that he was right. Of course.
Yeah, you were right. I feel good.
There's other things coming out now that things that are going on with the DeAndre Hopkins trade.
Yeah, did you hear that?
We can talk about
Obviously,
that
Jimmy.
later.
Good Lord,
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien.
Good
You can't
Lord.
say things like that, sir.
Yeah. What do you mean? What part?
All of it?
Yeah. What's what?
Well, you can't tell someone that you remind me of Aaron Hernandez.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that
No,
was
he
said.
told him the last time I had to have a meeting like this was with Aaron Hernandez. Is what he said. That's the quote. I shouldn't laugh about it, but former NFL wide receiver Michael Irvin said he spoke to Hopkins, who told him that there was a bit of power struggle between the star wideout and O'Brien. O'Brien reportedly felt that Hopkins had too much influence in the locker room, and he called a meeting with the receiver to hash it out, and hence that's when he said to him, the last time I had to have a meeting like this was with then. According to
just
Irvin's
leave that
account,
out,
according
sir.
to Irvin's account, the meeting deteriorated from there, and O'Brien allegedly brought up Hopkins having children with multiple women, telling the receiver that he doesn't like that he has his baby mamas around sometimes. Okay, Bill O'Brien. Okay, he's the biggest ding dong of all. And I've been. We could have Adam Clanton on from Houston, who's been on the show before, and he'll have plenty to say about him. And we probably should reach out to him. But I mean, I've said plenty of times that this guy, I didn't really have, outside of what he brought back Penn State football as the next coach. That was about it. Then he left to take over Houston, and then they didn't have a GM. They had interim, and then they gave him a GM, and now he's the head coach and the GM, and he's making trades like this and having meetings like this.
So do we like him or we don't like him?
I just think he's a ding dong.
He's a ding-a-ling?
I've never shook hands with the man, so I don't have too much to say about him.
He's not the next Fran.
No, he's definitely
Definitely not.
Yeah. Speaking of, we can look at our simulations later. Yeah.
Where did I put my sheet at?
I don't know. I think I have them somewhere, to be honest with you. But I have all the results. But I have the ads here, and then I'll find our simulations. But hey, we got to take a break. When we come back,
ad reader.
we're going to have Frank Clipshin from the YMCA.
Okay.
They're working on some things. And I reached out to him, and I said, I want you to come in. I want you to talk to us and tell us what the YMCA is doing. They're doing some youth programs, and they're going to set up some online stuff as well. So we're going to have Frank talk to us just for a little bit here on Don't House Us for Local. Again, thanks for tuning in to ESPN 1170. Bomber, take it away.
Tim Hernandez wants you to focus on new and fun ways to get fit for yourself and your family. ID Life wants you to be healthier, have more energy, get better sleep, and achieve more focus. ID Life is a health and wellness company that is revolutionizing the industry with customized nutrition. The ID Life name stands for Individually Designed Life and was founded on the principle that no two people are alike, so everyone has unique nutritional needs. Tim Hernandez is your guy in the Quad Cities to offer you personalized guidance that is tailored specifically to your health factors and personal goals. Do you have health problems that may be holding you back? The doctors and scientists develop what nutrients you should be taking and what supplements will benefit you the most. Go to qchealth.idlife.com to sign up for an unconditional, no questions asked, 30-day money-back guarantee. Call Tim Hernandez today at 563-508-7221 so he can show you that what makes life ID Life different is you.
This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
You're right on par in your M&M golf car.
M&M Golf Cars, your authorized club car dealer, invites you to check out the new Onward by Club Car. Onward's all-new accessories personalize nearly every detail to fit your lifestyle. Customize yours at mmgolfcars.com. 0% financing for 24 months through the end of the month. M&M Golf Cars, Bettendorf.
Right on par in your M&M golf car. M&M golf cars.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Roy, who is feeling older every day, and I think this is universal for people in sports, that you sort of can calendar your own age by guys you saw growing up playing when you loved sports, having kids who are now playing sports. But Roy has never felt older than he did during the break when, very sadly, he just said to me, Frank Gore's kid has enrolled at Southern Miss, and it's the first time you can remember an active athlete of any sort having a kid, but it's only because Frank Gore has been in the league 4 yards at a time since 1982.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Why would you when you still get 4 yards?
Frank Gore Jr. is going to put it on the poll, Antonio. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to retire from football sooner than Frank Gore Sr.
The Dan Lebitard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Is your kitchen or bathroom embarrassing? You need them redone. But do you know a contractor that you could trust? You need an all-star. You need to call Mike at All-Star Home Services. Mike and his team have been transforming kitchens and bathrooms for over 15 years. Call today for $500 off your complete kitchen or bath project. Plus, with financing available, get your kitchen or bath done today for one low monthly payment. Call 563-299-3786 or at all-starhomeservices.com.
Escúchame, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old and doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Lebitard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Have your car battery tested for free at Old Dog Tire and Performance. Plus, get an oil change for only $24.95. Up to 5 quarts of semi-synthetic blend oil, oil filter, 27-point inspection, and they top off all fluids. Or get a fully synthetic blend oil change with up to 5 quarts of oil for only $49.95. And right now, check out the AC Recharge Special for $99.99. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5. Old Dog Tire and Performance, Rockingham Road, Davenport. Service local, limited time offer.
At Casey's, we're here for our community, here for neighbors and friends, for supporting one another, and for making every day a little brighter. Make your day a little brighter with delicious pizza from Casey's, made just the way you like it, with fresh ingredients and baked right in our store. Now at Casey's, buy one large pizza, get one half off when you use code BOGO. That's promo code BOGO. Casey's, here for easy dinner, here for good. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
All right, everybody, we are back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish, and this is Don't Hassle So Local on AM 1170.
In studio, we've got Frank from the YMCA. Talked with Frank yesterday a little bit.
I played basketball with Frank so many years ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
See, that's one of those resolutions. You're gonna have to come back and get back on the court again.
Oh, I don't think my back can take it. That's why I'm at that chiropractor nowadays, man.
Right.
Shout out to Ranfelt Family Chiropractic for fixing T-Roy up today.
Since we're giving shout-outs, whatever, I just shared on social media. My friend Jake, who's a chef at Granite City, they're giving away turkey sandwiches to kids from 11 to 2 today.
Oh, cool.
So I had to message him like, hey, man, you got to make this shareable. And he said, I'm not Facebook savvy, but it is now, and I just saved it. So they're doing call-ahead turkey sandwiches for the kids at Granite City today from 11 to 2. So call ahead. Say, hey, we got to pick this up. It's great. Everything's going on. And Frank, the Y, obviously very good at giving back to the community and everything else.
Right.
How many years have you been with the Y now, Frank?
Boy, it's really been, besides being born into it, but professionally about 15 years now.
Wow.
Actually at some sort of higher level. Ran downtown Y for about 5 years, back up to the corporate side for the last few years. So thanks for having us on here and knowing what's going on. And the YMCA is so many different things with so many different people. So oftentimes people know us so specifically for one thing that they don't realize, oh, wow, you're the biggest child care provider in the county.
Yeah.
You do outreach to all these kids, and
so much.
A lot of great opportunities, and grateful for you guys to have us on here yesterday. Jay and I were meeting with Kelly with Dunright, and what's really neat, like you mentioned just now with the sandwiches, you really start to see the true spirit of what people have the capability to do.
Well, I even said it yesterday. I think it's more Midwest spirit too. Maybe I'm biased.
Maybe I am too, but I
I'm
agree.
just telling you,
You're going to have good people no matter where you're at geographically. But
Right.
you also see, and not to be negative Nancy, but you also see the people buying 20 things of toilet paper when there's somebody waiting for
Right.
one.
Right.
So it brings
Right.
out, I think, your true character, in my opinion.
Agree. I absolutely agree. And doesn't it feel good to be here in the heartland where people are just, people like Kelly and Jay, you guys, there's so many people that are reaching out. For every one person, there's 10 that are like, what can I do? We just threw a
I was
simple
thinking that in
thing
the
up
car,
and-
like what other than coming in here and trying to get the word out about different things.
Yeah.
But what, like, if I have nothing to do, what should I do?
Right.
You can always do
What's
something.
the right thing? Like,
Right.
can I help out knowing that, okay, I'm not feeling any ill effects. I'm not a person that has the virus or anything
Right.
like that. Could I go out and help? And,
Right.
and that's the thing. Just
You can always help. Just check on your neighbors, is what I
Right.
tell
Yeah.
people. Just go and
Well,
see
that's
if they're
what,
okay.
one
if
of
they
the
need
things
anything.
we're going to look to try to do as well. We have a lot of vulnerable populations that we serve, from older senior citizens, cancer patients, people with compromised immune systems, kids who have
You
sometimes
guys have
some
the Parkinson's community that goes to the
Parkinson's
Bettendorf
community,
Y a lot.
and
Yeah.
so we're right now, in addition to cleaning everything and trying to keep our employees active and in receiving paychecks as long as we can, we're trying to really take a list of all those people out there and just maybe making calling and texting campaigns. And you want to do something, well, here, call these 3 people. They're in our Live Strong at the YMCA program, and just say hi. Some of that stuff is so essential at these times when people are home and they don't have those connections, they don't have the people around. That can be sometimes as debilitating from an emotional standpoint as a virus in many cases.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're really excited. It looks like today at 3:30, we're going to begin our first kind of live stream of a group exercise class led by Jen Seifert. Jen and her husband Mick's a Cowboys fan. You guys will be brothers. But Mick's been a PE teacher here at Davenport Schools forever, and like many of us, like many people out there, just awesome heart and soul. So Jen's going to come in at 3:30. Kelly with Dunright, we're going to try to get everything set up ahead of time, kind of work through a couple of the kinks. So we want some good high production value. But really what we're hoping to is that we do it in a way that allows us to recognize people that are on the stream, shout them out. The videos are out there and that's good and all. But any way that we can put all of our heads together to say, how do we create that still legitimate sense of community where you can actually be like, oh, I see Jay's on the workout right now. Hey Jay, I hope you're working out at home.
It's like Romper Room, but it's for real.
Right.
You're not guessing the names in the mirror. When
That's
you're doing
exactly
it,
right. And that's with all the different capabilities we have. How can we do that in a way that lets people know, like, we are acknowledging each other, even though it's not face to face, even though we're not there. So hopefully we'll get people to tune in today at 3:30. And then really the goal is, and check our website for all of our updates. Like I said, we're suspended services. We're doing emergency, very urgent childcare. We're partnering throughout the county with who needs it. All of the recommendations seem like, man, they're changing every hour. There's more information and more things we got to be aware of. So we're taking all that into account. Offering food sites with the Davenport schools, trying to do as much of that. But the next step is, how do we keep our souls active? How do we keep our spirit, minds, and bodies going and engaged? So please, what you guys always do, continue to find that information. What are some ideas? Everything from science experiments that we could lead in our kitchens at the Y to have people do at home, to working out,
The one I
to
recommend
yoga.
against is Grandma Sandy. Do not put the Mentos.
Grandma Sandy,
She
okay.
thought that the Mentos was going to be different.
Did she go for the
She did it
Mentos
into the
one?
Coke, right?
Oh, yeah.
She did it into the
Twice.
Coke, and she
Yeah.
was like, okay,
Right
I
in her
always see this,
face.
but I didn't think it was right.
That's
She goes, but I wonder, then she comes back again to make another one, and she goes, I wonder if it works the same in other Pops.
right.
She put it in Pepsi, and it blows in her face. She goes, not again!
Well, like what Frank was saying about doing like science experiments, I was like, Oh my goodness, we could bring back Mr. Wizard's World.
It is.
I mean, can you
I
imagine?
bought a
Mr.
chemistry
Wizard's
set
World?
for my.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I have to
Kids,
post
how
a
you doing
picture.
today?
It's a multi-facet. It's got the volcano in it. It's got like a slime thing. It's got there's like it was like $30 at Walmart, and there was like 20 different experiments you could do in it. I think we should go live and do that.
Bomber's like creating things, and we had Mr. Wizard's World where he was like, "This is." He did 30 minutes of this is how static electricity works. And he took a balloon and rubbed it against Billy's head, and for 30 minutes he talked about how static electricity worked.
Oh my god!
Somehow Bomber just is creating a volcano. We need.
Yeah.
We need
We're
to
gonna do
update
that.
Mr. Wizard's
We're making
World.
a volcano tonight. That's the plan in my house.
I'm gonna bring a balloon in tomorrow.
You gonna bring a balloon?
But Frank, let's
then
talk
shock me.
about the child care type of thing, because some people are probably sitting there saying like, how are you guys open, or what are you open? Like, what is it that you guys are providing right now, child care though?
Right now, again, we're doing a lot of calls with all the different community partners. We know right now we need medical professionals. You know, we need as many of the supply chains to stay going. You know, the restaurants are all shifting up to be able to supply the food that we have to pick up curbside or get delivered. So we know there is essential work that needs to be done.
I need T-Roy in studio.
You know, there you go. You got to have it.
Yeah.
Got to have it. And so therefore
Trying
we're
my
looking
best,
at,
buddy.
you know, making sure that there is an option to do that, you know. I saw a YMCA earlier. They talked about how this is the historic. They had never suspended operations like this. Incredibly, we have once here, and it was actually during the Civil War. Our YMCA suspended.
Whoa.
That's the only time RY here locally in Davenport suspended operations. And they took volunteers, and they went out to the battlefield. They didn't care who you were, what color your uniform was. They read you the Bible, and they brought you whatever you needed. That was the only other time here locally that we've suspended.
That's
services.
amazing. What a
And
awesome.
it's
Why are you
amazing
smiling?
to think about that.
Because I want to tell you a story, and Frank's too good of a guy, but I like to get T-Roy fired up.
Okay, let's
This
get
is
you
the,
right
this is
there.
the honest to goodness truth. It's the truth. It's something that happened, and it's one of those things of suspending time, and you have to explain yourself. And sometimes we don't read enough things. We want answers right away. And Frank, don't get mad at me. He posted and he said like, "This is the last time," and the person replied back, "I don't need a history lesson. I just want to do it." Someone actually like wrote that to him. So I'm like, "You got to tell the story, Frank, because it's much better on air." But I was smiling because I didn't, and it's not you're not set up. I just heard about it, but someone got really like,
"Are you serious?"
Upset because you said the last time you just pointed out a historical fact.
Well, don't get me wrong. Things are pivoting so fast in the corporate communications world. So we're literally writing a message, preparing, getting all of our ducks in a row to suspend operations when Governor Reynolds' message came out that they're already suspended. You know, so then we pivoted to, let's make sure people understand the full scope of our whys. People are going to hurt in financially and emotionally. We get it. But the more that we can continue to have people stay on their memberships, the more we're able to continue to have some of the services that are needed.
Funding,
You know, all of that. So basically what we were saying was, we did. It was pretty long-winded there. You know, I've
It's
never
okay,
wrote
though.
a novel, but that's
People
probably
need
the
to-
closest thing was our official message about
It's
why
not
we
your
closed.
fault.
But it was funny, yeah, because
then
someone's
it's,
like, "Hey, I don't know the history of the Civil War."
Was it
and
you that
this, but
commented that?
Are you open or not? You know, no, it wasn't. I would have known for sure.
No, it wouldn't have been me.
It was Troy.
But you know, and most people get it. They're like, "Hey,
I
thank
had
you,"
to ask
you
him if
know,
I had
so-
gymnastics this week. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't think we have gymnastics.
No, we
do
took the kids out of karate.
yeah,
Yeah.
And Frank said,
Yeah.
most people are, they are in doing the right thing and they're reaching out, but. I get that.
Well,
the other
there's
thing,
always a
the
smart
other
ass
thing
out
is,
there that's
but
gonna
the
make
other
a
thing,
comment
the
about
funding is
something like
important because it's very easy to just sit there and be like, well, I need to suspend this, I need to do that. What I'm reaching out for, and like, here's why.
Sure.
But like I said, the child care thing is a big deal. Like you guys are still doing that.
Well, and they're income based, so there's a lot of families that depend on child care
absolutely.
that cannot afford it.
Yep.
So it is the people that have the memberships and pay that monthly fee that actually help take care of those kids. So if you are listening and you
connected.
have those memberships, do not suspend them because you are helping a family that cannot afford daycare get daycare right now.
Right. And I get it. You know, there's some of that social media, as you guys well know, you put something out and you just let people shoot at it all day. We don't want that. But, you know, part of that is why schools are not this. And we're going to continue to take our guidelines from the CDC, do what's absolutely essential. My kids, when we walk in, they give them the little thermometer in the ear. They keep their little cover for each kid so that they get it. We're checking that all the time, keeping the social distancing. And to scale, you're talking, there's hardly, you know, if the worst case scenario we could do through multiple locations, we could do a few hundred, but you're talking about schools that have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids together. So, you know, we don't have too many, thankfully, right now. People
Those
are
quick
able
little
to do it. So
thermometer takers, by the way, those are Those are a dream.
They are. They
I
help a
have
lot,
one of those.
right?
The best, isn't it?
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question
Yeah,
real
sure.
quick? Is there any? Can we like donate? We don't have a Y membership, so who will we go to if we wanted to donate?
If you just go right to our scottcountyfamilY.org,
Okay.
You'll find our information there. If you are hurting financially and need to cancel, suspend, you can find out there. But there's also a donate link there as well on that page.
Perfect.
Information about who we're working with the community partners. With Pleasant Valley Schools, we're trying to partner up with them as best as we can as well. Davenport Schools, Bettendorf Schools. So it's a community-wide effort.
Absolutely,
here,
and every little bit helps. I
and
agree.
It really focuses, like we talked about earlier. There's knuckleheads out there. We know that, but
Don't we?
this is going to show.
There's
us
one
how
on the
many
feed right now.
good Well, he's is he okay?
He's a friend of mine. He's
All
just
right.
he's always mean to me on purpose.
Okay, well,
It's
you got to
fine.
have that. It keeps you honest, though, right? You know?
Yes.
But truly, I think that's what's neat is we are seeing an outpouring of goodwill.
Good.
Sometimes it's through social media, which is all we have at this point. But thank God, we got social media so people could reach out and talk and communicate. So that's what we'll keep playing up here.
And trying to do good on social media because
yes,
there's some out there that want you to do some social media distancing. But like you said, we're going to put together something this afternoon and see where it goes from here, right?
Right, yep. Our plan is we'll kind of start working out the kinks. We really want it to be high production level. So 3:30 today, and then our goal is by the end of the day, latest maybe into tomorrow or end of day tomorrow, is that we really have a whole schedule next week. So people can plan around it. It's one, if you're just flipping through and all of a sudden, Facebook Live's on and I got a plate of nachos in front of me, you can't jump up and do a yoga class. But if you've got those kids and those old folks and they really want to plan for it, hopefully we'll give them the ability to plan for this. So they can schedule around an 11 o'clock group exercise class or something for the kids to do and that kind of thing. So
yeah. No, I think it's great that you guys
it's amazing.
thought about doing something like this. And anything we can do to help and promote it is big for us.
Well,
and
we appreciate that a lot.
And Frank, being in the Y and everything else, it shouldn't be under these circumstances that we get you in here. You should come and promote more and more of the things you do.
You guys are awesome. Love what you're doing. And
well, I'll tell you what, you made a great hire when you hired our friend Jacqueline.
Oh yeah, we love Jackie.
And
yep,
the one called Manders.
You guys hired Manders too?
He's a trainer at the Utica.
What?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
You guys hired me to coach a basketball team. You crazy.
SCW Pro. SCW
awesome.
$3.99.
No, last year I coached my daughter's basketball team.
Cool.
I will never do it again.
Right. Well,
ever.
Why not?
You got to learn, right?
It's nothing to do with the Y. The Y was great. It was all the parents in my inbox. I know what it feels like to be a CEO of a company or just in charge of anything in general because it's never good enough. Never.
Coaching kids is.
Oh, it's not
difficult.
the kids. The kids are great. That was
Kids
the
are
best
good.
part. It
Right.
was.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, the stuff you guys are doing, partnering up with the Plex out there and getting the gymnastics going,
That's
helping
what it
them
is.
utilize a portion of that building that was basically going to go to waste.
Yep, absolutely.
I
Just
think
trying
that
to
was great.
collaborate and serve. It really helps us. Our Y is doing very well. Had been doing really well with all the membership and the programs.
Right.
Jackie is an incredible hire. Jackie
Back to
herself,
her, yeah.
joking around with her, she goes from leading one of the coolest minor league baseball teams to teaching maybe even your daughter how to do a back bend.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you right now, Jackie and her whole staff are going through literally cleaning every nook and cranny and square
Yeah,
inch
I
of that
bet.
Utica Y. Manders is probably over there rolling up their sleeves, spraying everything down.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see people just pivot and do what's necessary. So we're all going to get stronger and learn from it. So
Well, just think about it. I mean, when you were given the history lesson, the last time the Y shut down operations was during the Civil War.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
how long has the YMCA been around? I mean, that was
161 years here.
Jeez,
Since
that's
the
insane.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. The first CEO, they did a yoga
I think
on a
Tim
First
Tom-
CEO
Tim
was a
Thompson was born
Triceratops.
that year.
It was a triceratops.
I thought so. I
yep.
remember him. Yeah.
There was a caveman,
Good guy.
a caveman body pump class. A lot of
I
grunting and hair
love you.
pulling.
You're my favorite guest ever.
She loves
no, but
grunting
you
in
guys
here.
are awesome. So yeah, let's have some fun. My dream as a kid, I always wanted to be a
Triceratops?
guest on a triceratops.
Guest on a radio show?
I wanted to carry a stick and like a leopard print.
Well, we can try to get you on
Flintstones
Dwyer and
outfit,
Michaels,
you
Frank,
know?
if you want to be on a real radio show.
But you guys are doing cool stuff, man.
Since
It's
we got
awesome.
you here, sports-wise, what do you follow? Let's get to know you.
Well,
He's an
You
athlete.
can talk to me. Yeah, I mean, I used to play back in the day and, played football, baseball, basketball. Davenport West, we won a state championship for Davenport West. You know, we were
You
like
played with
top three,
Becker
and Bruce and those
Yeah,
guys, 94 undefeated. Still got to have pride for Davenport West.
Okay, I was racking through my brain there.
There we go.
The state championship. All right.
That's it.
The
Come
94
on,
team,
Jay.
wire to
That's
wire.
not everything's been.
I played a lot of euchre with Bruce.
Oh, yeah, good.
After hours up at UNI.
Yeah,
He's a good
sure.
euchre player, by the way.
He's a hell of a basketball player. I
He
played
still is a
basketball
basketball
against him.
player.
I'm with you.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Duke can hoop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about euchre, though, more. Yes, he was very good.
Euchre.
Basketball,
It's similar. He's a killer instinct. You know,
Yeah.
he's gonna squash your throat. no
The
matter
Clark
what.
So
twins-
if I
Clark
remember right,
twins were there,
you're a Bears guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a Bears fan. I mean, I love my favorite sport's basketball. So I love my kids. They were pretty sad when basketball was canceled. You know, that was
Yeah,
pretty
sorry
tough.
guys.
So they're hanging in there. Don't get me wrong.
Can
they're
I
still
just
picking
add that
up
they're
all their
the
stats,
best
but-
behaved kids I've
Good
probably
job.
ever seen?
That's Cassius on the left and Julius on the right.
Cassius?
Cash and Jules. You know,
Cash
the
and you
treasures.
guys got some cool names.
So you're a
guys.
Bulls fan, buddy? Yeah.
Who's your favorite player? Number 23 or 45?
They're the same.
Neither.
Cash just said they're the
They're
same.
the same. They're both
Yes, my
Jordan.
man.
He knows that, yeah.
We're talking about Michael Jordan, my man.
Yeah, Jules, throw out an intro. What's Pascal Siakam's number, Jules?
Nice.
See, they're into these things where they know all these numbers of guys. They're like,
Yes.
Dad, what numbers do you know? I'm like, is LeBron 23?
I know if my car.
What is it this year?
I know if my car's dead. I know how to call Fred.
Yeah,
that's the
about
number
right.
I know.
It's funny you mentioned before he came in, we were talking about 45, the number that he wore, because this is 25 years ago. He came back from his first retirement.
Oh, wow. I didn't
And
know
then
that.
I know my phone number for my house that I had forever.
Me
here-
too.
here-
First phone number?
Here in Bettendorf or
Yeah.
Davenport.
Because of players?
And I know my phone number from where I grew up.
Because of players, right?
No, just because I remember those phone numbers.
I used to know the players one. That's how you remember.
I had to remind Jay that the president is number 45 as well.
Well, she set me up. She's like, you know who's number 45? And that's when you walked in. I was like, Gary Fensick from the 85 Bears.
Right,
And she's
there
like,
you
no,
go.
it's the president. Yeah.
Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump.
Gary
I do
Fensick.
know a lot of the Super Bowl shuffle rap. When you
I know all of it.
Can
Word
I
for
hear
I
word.
know all of. I
Can
mean,
I hear
could
you guys do it together,
Yeah.
please?
I could, if I have it going, I can do most. From
All right, let's
just
go.
a cappella.
Can I look it up?
Yeah, go do a player. Who do you know?
We are the Bears.
What is it called?
Yeah. Oh, you have to start
They
from
call
jump.
me sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making romance. I had the skills since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl chance, and we're not doing it because we're needy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. I didn't come here look for trouble. I just came to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Mama's boy Otis, one of a kind. Ladies all love me for my body and my mind.
Yeah.
I'm quicker on the floor as I can be. Ain't no sucker gonna get past me. Some guys are jealous of style and class. That's why they end up on there. Didn't come here look for trouble. I just came down to the Super Bowl shuffle. Love it.
Oh yeah,
love
heck
it.
yeah,
And go
heck
on.
yeah, man.
But we did see, I did Gary Fensick earlier. Seriously, it's the weirdest thing I did before you came in. And then one of the other ones, Fuller,
See.
right? They say Jimbo
there's
is our
Fuller.
man. If Jimmy can't do it, I sure can. This is
Steve,
Steve, and it's no wonder.
I run like lightning, I pass like thunder. So bring on Atlanta, bring on Dallas. This is for that bar Papa Bear Hallis.
I'm not here to feathers ruffle. I just came to do the Super Bowl shuffle. That's right.
Oh my! Look at how
That's right.
uninterested the boys are.
That's right. All day long, Craig and I can do this all day
Yeah,
long.
they're like, Dad, that
Yeah.
song is.
I don't want to
lame."
hear about the Lavables or
Right.
anything like
The
that.
Lavables.
Just bring back the 85-86
That
Bears.
was awesome, you guys. I'm
There we go,
impressed.
there we go.
I can keep
That's
going.
good
I'll-
stuff.
So
Yeah,
it's
but-
not true that your brain deteriorates the older you get.
Well, the good parts just get better, right? The good
Hey,
parts
wait
just
a
get
minute.
better.
What are you talking about?
What?
Huh?
Yeah, Jules. You know, this is my little celebrity in training right here. Cash is my high intellect. Julie is over here. He wants to, he sees a microphone and he wants to say something. You want to tell him who your favorite basketball player is today? Who is it?
I don't know.
Who's what's Giannis's last name? How about that?
No,
That's how
I
you
can't
can
do
show him. Say Giannis's last name.
Antetokounmpo.
Oh, you
Nice.
say it pretty
Nice.
good. Say it in there.
How
so
many
they can hear it.
syllables is that?
Antetokounmpo.
There you go.
There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go. Is it 5 syllables?
He's
1,
right.
2,
He's
3, 4,
lyric.
5?
The
There we
older,
go.
I swear, the firstborn is always the intellectual
That
of the
is
two.
it. That's right. Well, yeah, you guys are having fun, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
You need to live here.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Many times.
I don't think they have facilities for us to live here.
All right. Quick though, before we go to break, let's explain exactly what's going on this
Cool.
afternoon. And we're gonna put together videos for the Y
Yep.
and that get-togethers, and that people can they can make scheduled. It will still be on demand things because it'll be on Facebook Live,
Sure.
YouTube. But we want to create appointment type of things that
Right.
people feel like they want to look forward to being
Right.
in the live and being that like, hey, good to see you here type
Right.
of kind of like we do here on
Yep,
the Facebook.
yep.
And that. So explain what's going on. Again.
Yeah, so 3:30 today. Do your best to tune in. I know it'll be on the YMCA's Facebook Live page. We'll follow up with Kelly and get it into some other venues and channels as well. So 3:30 today, we'll have Jen Seifert doing some cool stuff. And then follow us. Check our website again, scottcountyfamilY.org.
I put it on the Facebook
There's
thread, too.
something right on there as well. We got a virtual Y link right on that homepage. And that's where we want to get feedback. We'll put that schedule out by end of day tomorrow for next week. And then we want feedback. So if there's good ideas or things that we can do, let us know. But yeah, as you said, Jay, that's the goal, is we want to use this to create an authentic connection, an authentic community where people are there at the same time, alive, sharing it. And we'll figure out how to do it the best way. So we're in uncharted world today, but let's figure out how to do our best.
Yeah, we'll do it the best.
Agreed.
We'll make it the best. And the thing is, when you want something done right, you call it done right.
Exactly.
And Kelly's going to do that.
And I will mention that Kelly was the one we started. He did a fundraiser for us. We started to talk about getting some of our youth outreach kids trained by him. And then when this happened, he immediately reached out and said, how can I help? So again, yet again, another testament to how many awesome people like Kelly we have in the community too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Love it.
Frank, thank you so much. We'll
Thank you,
we'll see you
guys.
this
Bye, Frank.
afternoon.
Appreciate it.
Boys, you were awesome.
You
Good
were.
job,
Good
man.
job, guys.
All right, we'll be back. ESPN 1170. Don't hassle us for local in just a minute.
Want to talk about our friends from Front Street Brewery, guys? I know this is going to be hard for them to open up, but I guarantee you they're going to be doing carry out. And guess what? They have growlers. So if you want some of that great Front Street beer like Davenport Gold, Wise Guy, Raging River, all you got to do is get a hold of them through their Facebook page or through www.frontstreetbrew.com. They're going to take care of your beer and carry out food needs. That's all you need to do is get down to Front Street Brewery, 208 East River Drive, or the tap room of the Freight House Complex.
Sides, head coach, St. Ambrose University Esports. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Renewal by Anderson.
At Renewal by Anderson, we're celebrating 25 years in business. I'm Sam Hare. We want to say thank you to all of our customers over the years that have had the chance to experience the best windows and doors in the industry. To celebrate, previous customers and new customers can take advantage of the best specials in 25 years. Buy 2 windows and get one 60% off with no money down and no interest until 2022. Text SPRING to 96714 for additional savings. We're celebrating 25 years in business. It's our 25th birthday, but you get all the presents. Buy 2 windows and get one 60% off with no money down and no interest until 2022. Text SPRING to 96714 for additional savings. Visit us online at renewalbyanderson.com and visit our showroom on 35th Street in Davenport.
Renewal by Anderson. We love our new windows.
Escúchame, it is Dan Le Batard on ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old, doddering. I'm not racist, just old.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Golick and Wingo.
With Antonio Brown, I certainly believe in the idea of you can come back. You've never gone too far where you can't come back home. That contrition is really possible, but with him, it's been this sort of seesaw for a while now of sorries followed by more outbursts, sorries followed by more attacks on other people. So until I see some sort of stringer pattern, I don't really think it's responsible to buy what he's saying.
Golick and Wingo, mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Make your next new or used purchase a slam dunk at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll have the full court press advantage each and every time. You'll be treated like a star from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles, too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
With the loss of a loved one, planning a fitting service can be a real challenge. At Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, with our personalized service and attention to detail, you can be confident the service will be everything you wished for. We've been serving families in our area for generations. We would be privileged to serve yours too. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
All right, everybody, back in the Hassle Castle. Thanks to our buddy Frank Clips for stopping in.
You know, how cool is that? It was great. And just to hear those things, like, you don't want to look back and go, oh, I wish I would have, but it shouldn't be a thing where we reach out to him or say, hey, come on the air. And really, it was all a thing. Like, Kelly came to me and said, I'm going to go to the Y. What do you think you can do? It's always good to have more input.
Well, I know,
it's
but
not
a lot of
anything
times
I
we
did.
don't think about...
Yeah. But it's not anything I did. Kelly just said, hey, your input is always good. Come meet us. Let's talk about what we can do at the Y. So I just sat, listened to him for a little bit. I'm like, hey, you guys can do this. It's more anticipate the problem. Here's what I think you guys can do with the Sling Studio and what we do in the studio and everything. And talking more with Frank. And eventually I was like, why don't you come on the air tomorrow? And he said, seriously? And I said, yeah. So he's like, all right. So it's great. And all the things they're doing is fantastic to talk to that. Again, like I said at the top of the hour, I want to remind everybody, you're missing out. You're missing some of your sports. NFL Game Pass, which offers replays of past, regular, and postseason games and episodes of shows like Hard Knocks, Mic'd Up, and A Football Life. It's available for free starting today, and it'll run through May 31st. So is the NBA League Pass, which offers replays of every game from the 2019-20 season, plus an expansive archive of classic games and content, which will be made available for free. So there's games out there you can see. Go back some of your classic NBA games, and you can go find them. MLB Network and NHL Network are now centering their coverage around classic games as well. And I also know the Marquee Network, if you're lucky to have that, they were doing a lot of classic games also of the Cubs. And, the other day I was with somebody, and right away someone goes, it was just in passing, so don't get on anyone Cub fan for anything, but like, what game is that? And just by taking a look at it, I was like, oh, it's just a Ryan Sandberg game. You know.
Who wouldn't want to rewatch those?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but against Bruce Sutter and everything. But I would like to watch.
I know I had to fill out my. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter. They said fill out if you have to win one ball game.
Okay.
Fill out your starting lineup. So tell me how I did.
All right, hold on a second. What do you mean? For basketball?
Baseball.
You made a starting lineup?
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. You have to win one ball game.
You got to win one ball game.
Come again? I'm so lost right now.
All right.
It's Game 7 of the World Series.
And you got to fill. You have to win one ball game. You want to guarantee yourself a victory.
This is going to have
fun.
fun.
All right.
Okay. I'm paying attention.
So
now, did you do it like lead off and everything?
Yes, yes, I did. I did it
really
batting order.
Okay.
I did it the batting order, and I pretended that we were National League,
so
that the pitcher
there's
had
no
to
DH?
bat.
Okay.
No DH. I did it. So, yeah. All right. So, and I know, and maybe I'll get crap for it. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely you will.
All right. Leading off.
Yeah.
In the left field.
Ooh.
The greatest leadoff hitter of all time.
It's Ricky Henderson.
That's right.
Good call.
Ricky.
Keep going, Bomber. Don't stop. Yeah.
Batting second.
Okay.
Playing third base.
Hold on. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Batting second, third base. It's Wade Boggs.
No.
Batting second, third base.
George Brett.
Chipper Jones.
Oh, that's a really good. What's wrong with me?
It's all right.
Wait, wasn't Chipper Jones third base?
He was.
Yeah, but he was no George Brett.
I want props for knowing that. I just
He was third base. He was also outfield, but yeah, Chipper Jones.
he was
yes.
also smoking hot.
He's still alive, and I think he's going in the booth whenever they come
going
back.
in the booth.
Meaning
Wait.
he'll be on Sunday Night Baseball, I think.
Oh, I thought the booth was something sexier than that.
No, sorry.
Get
your mind out of the gutter, bomber.
It's always in the gutter, you guys.
Get your mind out of the bomber.
batting third, playing center field.
Playing center field, batting third, and this is the all-time lineup.
Yep.
Willie Mays.
That's right.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Batting cleanup, playing right field.
Batting cleanup, playing right field. Daryl Strawberry.
Ooh, I like
Come
that
on,
one.
dude.
Andre Dawson.
Sammy Sosa.
The Babe.
Oh, all right, sorry.
I didn't know that. I didn't know all decades were available
Oh
for this.
yeah, it
all
was. He
decades.
said it. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't paying attention.
All right, batting fifth, playing first base.
Fred McGriff.
This one was tough.
The crime dog.
This one was really tough.
Mark
for me.
McGuire.
No.
Batting fifth, playing first base.
This one was tough. I went way back, but I wanted to
Way
do someone.
back,
I wanted to do someone more recent.
Joe
Okay, you
DiMaggio.
wanted someone
I
more-
wanted someone more recent, but I kept going off of career home runs, and I just couldn't get off the career home runs. And he had a really good batting average too.
Albert Pujols. Come on.
Lou Gehrig.
Oh,
okay.
disease.
I wanted to go Tony Gwynn.
Bomber. Like, come on.
I
Like,
wanted to
like-
go Tony
I
Gwynn.
feel like I'm on Jeopardy. Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
So I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Over
Pat.
Pujols?
or whatever.
Yeah, I'll take Lou Gehrig over Pujols.
Okay.
Sorry. Shortstop.
The Wizard?
See, I was thinking that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have Ozzy batting that high up
But I
on
wouldn't-
shortstop.
yeah.
No, you wouldn't. You
I did
Cal.
A-Rod.
Okay.
I know. I listen.
No.
I know everything behind it. I
No,
understand
you
it.
can't
but
argue that. He's
but he
still in
was
the top
still
5 for
awesome.
home runs, yeah.
I mean, the dude was still like, defensively, he was a great shortstop. He went to play with the Yankees, so he went to third.
I can't even think of a shortstop right now, except for the
All right.
Cubbies.
Second base.
Second base
Batting seventh.
is Sandberg.
You're damn right it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
Batting eighth. Or ninth. Eighth. Catcher.
Well, is it Pudge? Is it going to be something weird like Thurman Munson? Like,
See, I think it's got to be Johnny Bench.
okay. Yeah. Well,
I mean, it has to be. I just think it has to be Johnny Bench.
I mean, Joe Mauer was okay.
I know. I'm saying he was good. There was tons of guys that come to my head that I loved as catchers, but I'm like,
Ivan Rodriguez.
yeah, Pudge Rodriguez is there.
I mean, Johnny Bench or Joe Mauer over Pudge.
As much as I hate him,
Why do you hate
Molina,
him?
Yadier Molina.
Yachty, I'd
Yachty's
still
great.
take Bench and Mauer over that. All right, so the hitting pitcher,
The hitting pitcher. By the way, no one's getting a hit off this guy.
it's Nolan Ryan.
Kershaw.
What?
Kershaw.
Really?
Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw, come on, the guy chokes in Game 7 of the World Series. You
Oh
put
my!
Clayton Kershaw.
Stop
Matt
it!
Stafford's
It
best
doesn't take
friend.
away from all the goodies.
This guy was untouchable. Untouchable in his day.
Greg Maddux.
No, Sandy Koufax.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Dang it.
By the way, Bob Gibson was right up there
Nolan
too.
Ryan's up there too, though.
Well, Nolan Ryan and
Nolan
Bob
Ryan,
Gibson are
yeah.
both right up there,
Yeah.
but Koufax was filthy.
Yeah,
and,
legit.
and a lefty.
Right
That's
on.
legit. Yeah,
And
so
he's gonna.
I agree.
So that
We
was
don't
my-
have to fight.
No, I just
Share the
this
love.
other guy had a great one. This guy that started it, Mark Craig. I'm not sure what his. He's a national baseball writer for the Athletic. He had Ricky Lee, and I don't know if this is his batting order, by the way, but we'll just assume it is. He had Ricky, Babe Ruth, Mike Trout, Lou Gehrig, Chipper Jones, Rogers Hornsby, Yogi Berra, Honus Wagner, and Pedro Martinez as a starting pitcher.
Okay.
Pedro was filthy, but I mean, really, Pedro? He was filthy, but not.
I want a hitting pitcher.
I want one that can just.
Man, I don't know. Greg Maddux is probably one of the best pitchers I've ever watched in life. Growing up,
Maddox was great.
he was great.
Maddox is really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
He was my favorite. I was a Braves fan my whole life. I used to run home from school and turn on channel TBS and watch the Braves play right after school. True story.
You want me to tell you my
I don't wanna hear it.
Grace story and
What?
and Greg Maddox story? I'll tell it.
Do you want to hear my Greg Maddux story?
Do you have a Greg Maddox story?
I have a few.
No, your story is you
Ones
ran
for the
home to
radio-
watch
ones
him
we
as a
can tell on the
Brave.
Wait,
radio?
are these real life or fantasy?
No, I don't have fantasies about that. Mark Grace tells a story. I can't do it justice, but I'll tell it.
Okay. I have an Ozzie Smith story I have to tell after you tell that story.
Sure.
Okay.
So Mark Grace is playing first base for the Chicago Cubs when Greg Maddux is pitching for them. So remember that he was a Cub before the Braves.
Yes, I do. Uh-huh.
And Greg Maddux calls a timeout and he waves Mark Grace over.
Okay.
Gracie's like, all right, whatever. He comes over and he's like, anything I can do for you? And he's like, stand in front of me. He's like, what? He's like, stand in front of me. He's got the glove over and everything. He's like, stand in front of me. So Gracie's like, what? He's like, just stand in front of me. He's like, why? He's like, I gotta adjust my cup.
Oh.
He says, why? He goes, I have an erection.
Oh.
And Gracie says, man, you love pitching, don't you? Again, these are the things. These are the stories right here that you gotta. That Gracie.
Were you listening to Levitard at all today?
No.
He had Tommy Glavine on.
Okay.
And he made Glavine tell some stories, right? So, and I don't know whose locker it was, but apparently Grace went into the locker room and used the dumper.
Okay.
And used someone's T-shirt to clean up his business, and then put it back in their locker.
Okay.
And some dude was like, it was buried in his locker. He's like, something stinks in my locker. Something's wrong in my locker.
No.
And Glavine was like, yeah, what do you think it is? He's like, I don't know. And he pulls it out, this T-shirt. He's like, oh, no. And the dude just yells, Gracie! Or not Gracie, Maddux. It was Maddux.
Okay.
Maddux! So apparently Maddux was a joker, man.
He had a great personality. I loved his interviews, too. He was just a sweetheart.
Chicks dig the long ball.
So here's my Ozzie Smith story, and this is a true story. So I used to be a huge Braves fan, like I said, growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. And they played in St. Louis, so I went to St. Louis to watch the Cubs play the Braves. And so all the kids stand outside the parking structure when they come out to get their autographs, right? So I'm standing outside of the Cubs because you don't have access to the visitors team. So we're standing out there, and then I went to Ozzie Smith's restaurant earlier that day, and I had his T-shirt on, and he was the guy that did the backflip. So I was like, he's so cool, he was just awesome, and every kid loved that. So I was waiting, and he was rolling up his window, and he was like, no autographs, no autographs. And I went like this, and I pointed at my shirt, and I was like, but I ate at your restaurant. So he stopped, rolled his window down, pointed at me, and said, only you. And he fingered, like, come over here. So I went over, and he turned me around, signed my shirt, and I said, wait, I want you to sign my brother's baseball, too. So he's like, all right, let your brother. And then he rolled his window up, and he was out. And I was like, yeah, Beaches. I got it.
That's what you said at that age.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. I don't doubt that one bit either.
And he gave me a card too, so like I was hooked up, and all the other kids were like, whatever. It's like, yeah, you didn't eat at his restaurant.
See, you could have been a Cardinal fan. You just didn't know.
I wasn't though, but I did sell that online later for a hefty amount of money. The card. Still have the T-shirt. Yeah.
And I guess, and that's how a lot of people became Braves fans.
That was very cool.
They were
of
winning
him.
at that time.
Yeah, they were on top of the world.
TBS, and that's why they're Cub fans all over the place because of on WGN before TBS. It's one that they could see all the time.
Alcoholic.
I just thought that was so cool, and it was a testament to his character that he stopped. He saw that I ate at his restaurant, and he wanted to give back. I thought that was super cool of him, and I've always had a great opinion of him after that.
Well, we should probably get through this.
Oh.
Because I got to go soon.
Okay.
What is this?
It's our bracket thing.
Oh, Lord.
See where we're at.
Help me.
Where's my bracket?
I don't know. I found mine. Yours wasn't with mine.
No, let's. But can we take a quick break?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Go through
I was
that,
just
and then
saying,
we'll come
yeah.
back to simulation because I actually have a few questions for you, and then we'll
Okay.
get Rosso to call in later. But yeah, let's take a quick break and then come back. We'll take a look at the simulations for the March Madness, see where it is, and I mean, I've got some more ideas of things that we're gonna do, and I put a question out there on Facebook, and T-Ray, I think you'll like it. We'll run through that as fast as can be before you have to go, and yeah, let's take a break and come back.
All right. Done Right TV and Security Solutions is proud to be your Dish premier local retailer. Use Dish's voice remote to search live TV, over 80,000 on-demand titles, and Netflix at the same time. Done Right has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theaters, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that is right for you. Netflix streaming membership required. Voice remote requires internet-connected hopper. Restrictions do apply. Once again, that's Done Right TV and Security Solutions at 866-84-RIGHT.
This is Randall, the QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Don't settle for the aggravation of sunken concrete around your home or business. Call Top Notch Mud Jacking to fix your uneven concrete. Let us raise those sections that can cause unnecessary wear and tear to your vehicles at a fraction of the cost. We also offer joint and crack sealing to prolong the life of your concrete. Servicing residential, commercial, and industrial areas. We offer warranty, senior, and military discounts, and free estimates. Check us out online. Top-notch mud jacking. Don't settle. Jack it up.
Lou Jack Hyundai is here for you, Quad Cities, and proud to roll out Hyundai Assurance. In addition to money-saving offers through the Hyundai Spring Sales Event, your first payment's not due for a full 3 months on any new Hyundai, including a new 2020 Hyundai Tucson. And to give you more peace of mind, if you lose your job, your payments are covered for 6 months. Plus, you still get America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Assurance. Lou Jack Hyundai is here for you. Click LouJackHyundai.com. See dealer for full details. Interest accrues from date of purchase with approved credit through Hyundai Motors Finance. Ends 3/31/20.
Golic and Wingo.
And good for the Raiders, right?
Good
After
for
all
the
the
Raiders.
crap they've been through.
But I love the times that the Raiders win because then Jason brings in donuts. I mean, that's the best thing about this whole thing.
See,
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I love that on obviously the cellular level where my body craves it, and I hate it for the part of me that's in football season trying not to gain my customary 15 pounds. So it's a real double-edged sword.
Yeah,
here.
whatever.
I'll be honest, gentlemen. It was the first time I've ever watched a Raiders game where I didn't eat a dozen donuts. There were no donuts happening. I ate healthy.
You're telling me that was the first time in your life that you did not eat a dozen donuts watching a Raiders game?
That I can remember, yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a
What do
fact-
you have, a dozen donuts, and what did you drink?
3 2-liters.
Three 2-liter bottles of diet soda, a dozen donuts, and a pizza.
What?
None of that last night. Ate healthy. If you'd like, guys, I can start bringing in carrot sticks for you.
No,
pass on that
that'll
one.
get your fingers
Hummus,
broken.
little hummus.
No.
Stop that.
Golic and Wingo. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, dented siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce the show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Join the millions of people who will get their flu shot this year. It's the best way to keep yourself and those around you healthy this flu season, and it may be available at no cost to you. The flu shot lowers your chances of getting sick, and it offers the best protection, especially for people at a higher risk of health problems from the flu, like children, older adults, or people who are pregnant or have a chronic illness. Show you care about your friends and family members. Check with your doctor's office or pharmacy to get your flu shot today. Brought to you by Iowa Total Care.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KPOB, Davenport.
She's so right about it, don't
I
you?
am. I'm right.
We're back. Hi, everybody. We're back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. Our off-air conversations, man, if we could just record those, we'd make $1 million.
We just got to let Bomber go. I feel
know.
bad that I interrupt things. Like, just
Dude,
let her go.
she's right about
Did you
some of that
know?
stuff,
Yeah.
yes.
No, I didn't know this.
Now I'm sweating because I was so passionate about that last conversation.
And Epstein killed himself.
Absolutely not.
No, he didn't.
No, don't get me started
About
on
ready
that
to-
one.
He was about ready to drop the dime on a member of the royal family.
Yeah.
And I swear to God,
I have
I did
inside
not go down to
information.
that fantasy island. The tattoo was not there.
And they didn't see me reading a book about pedophilia on the flight.
I had to have them relationships with the other women to relieve my stress.
Hey,
I get stressed out.
There is a series going on right now for Hillary, and he's on there
Why?
talking about
And did you
that.
see how photoshopped her picture was? My God, I wanted to barf.
She needs to go away. I am so tired of her.
She is the
Listen, you
ugliest woman.
lost. You hag. Go away.
It's a docu-series.
hag.
You don't think that's interesting to see
Well,
like
how come
she
there's
does-
only ever docu-series
About people
on
you don't want
Democrats?
to, and you don't want to hear
Why
about.
is there only docu-series on Democrats? You never see one about a Republican. You never see one about the Republican. They
They
never.
made an entire. The guy won an Academy Award over Lincoln.
Well, JFK was the
It's a
last
movie,
real
and
Democrat.
then he
though.
was a Republican. Thank you so much.
Yeah, he
Watch, and
was.
then the Democrats would be like, he would be a Democrat today.
wasn't the way it was. They switched.
Oh,
we all
dirty ass
swapped.
Democrats.
I'm trying to lighten it up. And
We
everything
swapped,
else.
guys.
Now we're gonna have comments. Everyone like,
We played
oh, here we
music.
go.
We played musical chairs, and we just decided to switch parties.
That's not true.
No, it's
You
not.
come to
It's
Facebook to
not.
get out
It's
of
not.
to get away from politics.
Yeah, it's all
and
good.
the wrong
I
place
love you no
anymore.
matter.
But
I
we
don't-
got stuff to do. We got make-believe basketball talk.
I love anybody. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter.
Simulation. According to our friends at Axios Sports, they did the simulation of March Madness. Yesterday you were gone, so we don't have the second round. We haven't updated it yet, but I can tell you how it went. Okay.
Okay.
So in the second round, at the top side of the bracket, you had Kansas versus Marquette, right? You remember that? Yes. Say yes.
Yeah.
Just say yes.
It would be Kansas Marquette.
Yeah, Kansas won that game.
Okay.
All right, because we're gonna have to do 2 rounds because
Yep.
and the next game would have been Auburn versus
North
I'm
Texas.
sorry, versus North Texas. That's right. North Texas won that game.
Okay.
According to the simulation of the March Madness by Axios Sports, and what the seedings would have been by Joe Lenardi of ESPN.com. So fill everybody in there that's listening.
All right. We have Iowa versus Duke.
Mm-hmm. Duke won.
Duke.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's wrong.
I told you Duke was going to
That's
win.
not the same simulation. Yes, there's other simulations that have Iowa beating Duke, but according to our friends at Axios Sports.
All right, well, I'm done then.
Yep.
I don't want to do it anymore.
All right, the other one you had Arizona State versus
Kentucky.
Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Arizona State won that game.
That's wrong.
Oh, Troy.
So you're going to tell me that Arizona State can beat Kentucky, but Iowa can't beat Duke. You'd stick that.
It's March Madness. Things happen. It's all madness, buddy.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right. The other side at the top half of the bracket. On the other side of the top of the bracket.
We got Gonzaga versus Oregon.
LSU.
Or LSU. Sorry. Duh.
Yep. Gonzaga wins.
Okay, and then we got Yale versus Oregon.
Oregon wins, according to our friends at Axios Sports.
All right. Next one we have Indy versus Seton Hall.
Seton Hall wins that.
All right, we got Texas Tech versus San Diego State.
San Diego State wins that game.
I have that all right.
Yeah, you got all that right.
On the bottom side of the bracket, on the left side,
We have Dayton versus Florida.
okie dokie. Yeah.
Florida.
Dayton versus Florida. Well, where did now that you thought I had all this simulation top of the bracket? Here we go. Sorry, I apologize. Dayton versus Florida. Dayton wins that game.
Dang.
All right.
See, I'm
we
already
got Richmond versus Maryland.
Maryland wins that game.
Okay, we got Penn State versus Nova.
Penn State wins that game.
Always.
Ooh, West Virginia versus Florida State.
Florida State wins that game.
All but one right
On
there
the
for
other
me.
side of the
Nice.
lower half of the bracket,
Baylor versus Rutgers.
Rutgers.
Baylor wins that game.
All right. Ohio State versus Vermont.
Ohio State wins that game.
I had Louisville. But
I had
so it's
Ohio
all right.
State.
Say it again.
Louisvle.
You gotta do it like you got a wad of chew in your.
All right, we got Cincinnati versus Michigan State.
Cincinnati beats Michigan
Wow,
State,
that's
according to our friends at
amazing.
Axios Sports in their simulation.
And you
Illinois
never.
versus Creighton.
Illini!
Hey! See, Huggy Bear? Take that. Go Illinois.
Yeah. All right. You want to do the next? You want the next round?
ILLINI.
Give me the next round, and I'll take
Next
you into the
round.
Elite Eight.
We got Kansas versus North Texas.
Texas.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Okay, we got Duke versus Arizona State.
Duke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top side of that side of
Zaga versus Oregon.
Gonzaga.
Seton Hall versus San Diego State.
According to our friends at Axios Sports, based on Joe Lenardi's projections, Seton Hall would have beaten San Diego State.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
Okay, Dayton versus Maryland.
Maryland goes to the
Yeah.
Elite Eight.
Nice.
And Penn State versus Florida State.
Florida State wins 80-70.
Okay. Baylor versus Louisville.
Say it again.
No, versus Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Baylor
One more
wins
time.
that.
And Illinois versus the Natty.
Natty.
The
Illinois.
Illini.
Yes! Look at
Let
that.
me tell you something. I am perfect on the bottom half of this elite. I have Maryland, I have Florida State, I have Baylor, and I have Illini.
Well, I have
really
Nova. Other than that, I got all those.
Obviously, I had Michigan, and they lost first round, so that would have hurt me. I had San Diego State. I'm off there.
I have Gonzaga and Kansas, but I had Iowa and San Diego State.
I had 5 out of the Elite 8. 5. That's, of course, it's simulation.
I've got 1, 2, 3.
It's simulation.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I got 5 of the Elite 8 too.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
he did great.
No, I'm just saying, Bomber. Like, we fill these things out every year, and you know, you can. Oh, there goes my bracket. But 5 out of the Elite 8, that's pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah.
Will
you say Louisville again for me?
Louisville.
Why do I find that so funny?
I don't know. You're
Louisville.
I put this before you go, and Ross is going to call.
Release yourself to a correctional facility.
Before you go.
Oh my God, help.
You're right. And we're going to talk to
I'm not
Rosso
going
in
to
about
correctional
10
facility.
minutes. Before you go, I put this on Facebook because just like you did with the lineup and everything else, it's fun to now take your mind off it and everything else. So I put on there on Facebook, first sport I ever loved. That's an answer for you and Bomber.
Chopper's trying to say the tourney started today. How are you in Elite 8? It's simulated, Chopper.
Yeah, it's simulated. Yeah, Axios released
simulated
every
like your
day
virtual reality.
They started it when the crisis started, not when the tournament was supposed to start.
Started on Monday, actually. Or Tuesday, they released it. They did first round on Tuesday, second round on Wednesday, and now Elite 8.
It's simulated like your girlfriend.
Oh, snap.
You
That
hear
just
that,
happened.
Chops? That just happened,
That
Chops.
just happened. Okay.
Whoops.
Back to what I
I
said.
think he's married, by the way.
Well, his girlfriend's still
Allegedly.
simulated.
Yeah.
Mrs. Chopper's going to be like, hey, what's this girlfriend
It's not
talk I
cheating when
hear?
it's VR, baby.
All right.
Just putting that
First
out there.
sport, T-Roy and Bomber. First sport you ever loved.
Softball.
Baseball.
I did answer under Don't Hassle Us, we're local, but I answered baseball as well. First sports team you ever loved.
Atlanta Braves. Or the Bulls. Be a tie.
Well, answer one.
Bulls then, because I was 3. Watching
Well, I'm
Bulls
going to
with
have
my
to
grandpa.
change my first answer.
Okay.
It was football.
Your first, I mean, the sport, like, you love, you know, seeing, watching, everything else.
No, I was watching.
It was football. I had to say, well, I was thinking baseball, but
Yeah, baseball all day for me.
I know I can guarantee you I was playing wiffle ball way before I thought about playing 2-in-touch.
T-ball.
well, I was thinking, but all right, I think it
But I
was
was
baseball
around.
I loved because I loved playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite team was the Cowboys. My first favorite team was the Cowboys.
Your first team you ever loved was the
My
Cowboys.
favorite team was the Bulls, but I wasn't a basketball player. So I mean, your favorite sport.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. My favorite
Yeah.
sport was baseball, but my favorite team was always the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite sports moment.
Oh, well, until it had always been Kirk Gibson's home run. I was a Dodger fan.
Game 1, 1988 World Series.
Yeah, it had always been that. But
Two
then
count backdoor slider from Dennis Eckersley.
it had always
That's a
been
legit
that.
moment,
Obviously, 2016. Cubs winning. it
Cubs
all.
winning. Okay.
Mine would be meeting Ozzie Smith. That I just told you guys. That was my favorite sports moment. Felt like a big deal.
I think I need to change some of the questions. When I say ask a question, I said more to come. Like,
yeah,
I'll throw that in there.
Like personal experience
that you've ever exchanged with anybody.
But then it'd be the Cubs winning the World Series.
No, but I mean, yours is fine. It's still a
Yeah.
sports moment. Yeah. So yours is the Cubs winning the World Series over Kansas City winning.
If it's a personal moment, it's the Ozzie Smith story. But if it's just a sports moment in general, it's the Cubs winning the World
Close
Series.
third for me in sports moment though, because obviously Gibson would be second now. But third, I called the Cowboys back-to-back Super Bowls
in
92, 93.
1993.
Hanging out with J.J. Hardy was pretty cool too.
What?
What?
J.J. Hardy.
What do you mean hanging out with J.J. Hardy?
When I lived in Milwaukee, they had this big thing where
You're
you could
on
go.
a sports talk radio show.
No!
You got to tell these stories. What?
Well, I mean, it wasn't really relevant. He had his agent go up and ask certain girls to come back and do this thing, and a friend of mine's sister was one of them, and I was one of them. I mean, I have to tell you, I was smoking hot in my 20s. I've had 2 kids since then, but I was one of them that they asked to come back and hang out.
What do you mean you were smoking hot?
His nickname, we called him J.J. Yardy because he go yard.
J.J. Yardy.
You can't stop and hold on to these stories, Bob.
He was a rookie back then. He wasn't a big deal. And he didn't really even. I mean, he said like 3 words to each of us. I think it was like a bachelor kind of situation where
Will you
he got
accept this rose?
I
Will
never
you
would have,
accept
and
this
his rose being his mirror, but. I think that's where they're going with it.
I love her. I just love her so much.
All right. Sports moment that made me cry, good or bad, and has to be pre-COVID-19.
Man. Dallas lost. I want to say to the yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, the catch.
Okay. Yeah.
The catch. They lost to the 49ers.
Montana to Clark. Yeah.
The saddest?
Made you cry. Yeah, good or bad? Like, did you cry out of good tears or bad tears? Because I can tell, I know like on top of my hand, like the 4 moments that as sports ever made me cry. So I had to go to the first
when
one.
the Bulls won the 6-peat, I think I cried out of like, oh my God. Happiness. Great. Yeah. Like, holy crap, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I was really upset in the Game 5, 1984 Cubs Padres. I mean,
how old were you in '84?
8.
I was 2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No,
it did not phase
but
me.
Then if you get to the Dolphins beating the Bears on Monday Night Football in 1985, that's up there. The Hawkeyes lost to the UCLA Bruins in the Rose Bowl in '86 is up there. I was very upset.
Yeah.
And then the reason why I stopped, like really being a Bears fan, is when they lost in the playoffs to the Redskins the following year and didn't repeat as Super Bowl champions. I was inconsolable and a nightmare for about 36 hours.
I can see that about you.
Yeah. So, all right. First great sports WTF moment. Like, you're like, this is incredible. Like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. I know I'm witnessing something that is going to be on Wild World of Sports. People are going to talk about. They will reference it.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is your first.
Yeah, I didn't get into sports until about 10 years ago, as far as football is concerned. So just seeing him as a rookie
and everything else.
No, yeah, Hardy wanting to bang 20 girls, so he had his agent go around asking him.
Like, come on, you had like Michael Phelps out there.
I never liked Michael Phelps. I think his proportions, his body proportions, are weird to me.
That's a great conversation too.
Me
Mine was it was a Jordan moment. When he
against Georgetown.
No.
How about Kobe?
No, I'm sorry. I know it's recent and he passed. And I love Kobe, but when Jordan went off and was making all those threes in that game 1, I think it was against
against Portland.
And he looks over at Magic. And he's like,
"Hey," he's like, "Hey, what can
I know exactly what you're talking about."
I mean,
I'm MJ, baby.
Mine are just always like Jordan. Jordan was always the one that just made me.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Because he did it. He did it on the biggest stage.
Mm-hmm.
And just ate it up.
And he was so classy about it too, though.
But
he wasn't disrespectful.
He was a killer.
There's class. There's disrespectful. You gotta like. There's moments like.
He was
gonna put things
crap.
together. You have
to.
And you want to do
crap.
and MJ like you gotta have the one where I don't know who he said it to, but he's like, "This is for you," and he closes his eyes at the free throw line. And
yes.
Like that's legit.
Who did he say that to?
He was on the free throw line. I can look it up.
I just
saw who it. I almost want to say it was Mutombo, but I can't.
I feel like it was too, but I don't know who.
But Mutombo was always the one he shook his finger at. And he got a technical for it when he dunked in Mutombo's face.
That's not really being disrespectful. That's just that's good old sportsmanship right there. He was always respectful. I think.
Mine I put down was, and I probably could have gone just in general and just been, but it was Carl Lewis at the '84 Olympics.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
And Mary Lou too, but I mean, I was just like, this is.
What did he run? By the way,
everything.
No. What was his fastest man in the world? It was what
600 meter dash.
But he did the 100. He did the long jump. He had the 400, 200. He
was it 30. What was his miles per hour?
The relay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was crazy high.
But to me, I remember where I was, and again, M8. Then I remember where I was, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Speaking of faster than a cheetah,
and then I have another great WTF moment, good or bad. I went with Tyson KO'd by Douglas.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I didn't either because I thought he was gonna win, so I left.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Well,
okay, I got my WTF moment when George Foreman won the title and he did not win that fight. What was that?
What against
his last
Holyfield?
Fight? He did not win. It was horrible.
I don't know. I didn't.
He won the title, the heavyweight.
I just went and bought his grill.
It was ridiculous. I remember paying.
I just supported him that way.
That's my WTF moment. He did not win that fight.
All right,
all right,
gotta
buddy,
go, kids.
you gotta go.
All right, try.
It's been good talking to you.
I wish I could stay longer, but we got this pandemic going on. I gotta take care of me and mine.
All right.
Yo, that's Ross was gonna be calling.
Come over and take care of mine too. Good. I'm gonna.
What?
Scoozy. I go potty.
What? What do you? I got a phone call coming. Like Serge just walks in. Now everyone's leaving. Or whatever else.
Okay, I'll stay. I'll hold it. God, I'll just
as
cross
soon as
my
I get-
legs,
when I-
Jay.
when I get a phone
look at
call
these
from
work.
Ross,
Look at
he's
these
gonna call
working
in.
conditions that I have to deal with, you guys.
Working conditions. People are in or out. Serge, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, bud.
Good. What's new?
Oh, got the day off.
Yeah. Well, Nick Foles is a Chicago Bear.
Yeah.
So
All
that's
right.
going to happen.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's good.
Because it pushes everybody out there listening to ESPN 1170. Serge is here. So get used to that voice. That's a good thing, right?
It's good because it's something different, rather than not blaming Trubisky for everything. But obviously we needed a change of some sorts, and hey, we got somebody who's proven.
Mm-hmm.
He's won. He knows how to win, and maybe he pushes Trubisky a little bit. Maybe he helps mentor him a little bit. Maybe he's the man for the next year. Maybe it's a different offense for him. It's completely different offense for him. So we'll see what that does as far as his production and his just on the field command. Like, who knows what's going to happen with different weapons around him, different line, different system, different coach. So
Yeah, I'm
sure he's happy to be out of sunny warm Jacksonville and up into Chicago. But
I think though there's got to be some questions that's going on with the front office and some of the moves. I mean, Jimmy Graham is an interesting one. I mean, it's not nearly as questionable as what Bill O'Brien's doing down in Houston, but
yeah, the Jimmy Graham thing. I mean, I'm torn on. I mean, I want to be excited, but I'd rather have Jimmy Graham from 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I've always liked Jimmy Graham. He hasn't done anything in a while, but the Bears haven't had a tight end go for more than 100 yards in God knows how long.
Yeah.
So we'll see there.
So it was a 4th-round pick for the Bears. It ends Nick Foles' tenure in Jacksonville. He was just 1 year into his 4-year deal worth $88 million that he signed last season. This will be his 3rd team in 3 seasons, and he just started 4 games last year and won none of them.
None of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll see where, the Jags, on the other hand, I guess they're going with Gardner Minshew. That's going to be it for them.
Yep.
But, yeah, there were plenty of big-name quarterbacks that the Bears could have gone for, but I don't know. It was on air when we did it. Kakert was just like, nope, like right away. He wasn't happy about it. So, other football news. Rob Gronkowski is going to host WrestleMania. It's going to be a 2-night event this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess everything you said right there is about the same way when I read this. So WrestleMania 36 is going to be held now Saturday, April 4th, and Sunday, April 5th. Usually it's on a Sunday. And it'll be able to, again, stream on the WWE Network. And originally it was scheduled to be held at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, but it's moved to its the training facility, and it's closed to the public.
Of course.
Yeah, it's going to be closed set, and it's going to be open to only essential personnel. But I guess Gronk is going to be the idea that he's the host. They're hoping to add a little bit of intrigue factor to it. And to be honest with you, Serge, if they allow the doors to open, this will be an event that actually people will put on on the show because
absolutely.
you need live stuff. You need live. It's not sport; it's a scripted sport or whatever else. But you need something. So, if this is allowed to happen, that you can open the doors in Iowa, this will be a.
What's the date for that?
April 4th and April 5th. Saturday, April 4th, and then Sunday, April 5th. So I don't know really how it's going to all work out. I don't know all the details of it. I just saw that Rob Gronkowski is going to do that, and then announced 2 nights.
I'd be surprised if we're open by then, but I'm hopeful.
What if the government comes out April 1st and they're like, JK?
I don't think they're going to wait that long to make a decision.
But they're going to be like, just kidding, got y'all.
What do you mean? They won't just spur of the moment, just say we can open the doors?
April 1st.
Serge?
All right.
Come on.
No, I think if this one, if they're going to extend it, I think they're going to extend it sooner. I think they're going to extend it soon.
I'm waiting for it to be an April Fool's Day joke. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't think that's happening.
Well, I'm just going to put my money on that and just hope for the best, okay?
Yeah.
April Fools, y'all. Like Nancy Pelosi calls all of us. Hey, just kidding. Number 45, not Michael Jordan.
Why don't you grab promo over there, Bomber? We'll take a break. ESPN Radio.
Which one would you
Don't
like?
Hassle Us Local. Whatever you want to read is fine with me. We got to take a break. I don't know where Rosso is, and then we'll come back. But I'm sure he'll wait and he'll call us when we're back on the air. But we do need to take a break.
All right.
For our sponsors.
Hey, Quad Cities, stop going to your favorite social media sites asking for suggestions of where to get your oil changed, who does the best tattoo work, or the best place for lunch in the Quad Cities. Pick up your Locals Love Us guide, QCA. It's easy to navigate table of contents to help you find whatever you're looking for. Or go to their website at localsloveus.com, click on Quad Cities, and then browse favorites. It's so easy to use, and they even rank the most popular places for you so you don't have to do it yourself. Locals Love Us, your guide to the best.
Radio guy for the Quad City Storm. You are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Individual results vary. Exclusions apply. Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but...
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting STEP to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds, and the LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes. And best of all, most patients can get back to work the following day.
I had no idea.
The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. We've performed over 1.3 million procedures. That's experience you can trust. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text STEP to 350-350. That's STEP to 350-350 to schedule your free consultation today.
The Will Kane Show.
I don't think there's any hard and fast rule here. It's not that you have to win while your quarterback's on a rookie deal. I don't want to pay Dak $40 million because you don't have to. What I would argue is this: get a good deal. The main thing to do is avoid paying average quarterbacks as though they're great. That's when teams get in trouble. There's no hard and fast rule except don't be a moron. The commodity or the quality that's in short supply in every walk of life is self-awareness. Who am I? How good am I? What am I worth? And I think that teams honestly aren't self-aware enough about their window, how good they are, and how good their quarterback is. My biggest lesson, honestly, Fitz, is not, oh, you got to win with a quarterback on a rookie deal. It's not pay Dak, but don't pay him $40. It's just play smart business. Don't overpay. Be self-aware. Who is your guy, and pay him at that rate.
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Roy, who is feeling older every day, and I think this is universal for people in sports, that you sort of can calendar your own age by guys you saw growing up playing when you loved sports, having kids who are now playing sports. But Roy has never felt older than he did during the break when, very sadly, he just said to me, Frank Gore's kid has enrolled at Southern Miss, and it's the first time you can remember an active athlete of any sort having a kid, but it's only because Frank Gore has been in the league 4 yards at a time since 1982.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Why would you when you still get 4 yards?
Frank Gore Jr. is going to put it on the poll, Antonio. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to retire from football sooner than Frank Gore Sr.?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay. Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-500-8980. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-500-8980. That's 1-800-500-8980. 1-800-500-8980.
Win stuff. Yes, you. Download the ESPN 1170 app today. Be a winner for the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to ESPN 1170 AM. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. 1:34 in the afternoon, Thursday, March 19th, 2020. Like I said earlier, this is the 25th anniversary.
Does my camera even work anymore?
Yeah, your camera does. I can move it over.
Oh, do you want people to see the top of your hat?
No, everybody was asking.
Oh.
No, nobody was asking. I was just kidding. Nobody
We want to
asked.
look at the top of his head while he's on the computer.
Yeah, Ross was going to be
They
calling
don't
in
believe
some-
I'm here half the time.
Well, you're
That's
usually
the thing.
not. We just
No,
put a
I mean,
dummy
like,
in the chair.
when I am here, if the camera's on me, which I don't care, but it's just really funny because I just have to prove, like, you're not really there, are you? I'm like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have me mic'd up in my car.
Yeah, it's I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we need proof.
We just bring in, through the microphone and be like, hey, Serge, we looked it up. He's like, sure thing.
And you're not even wearing, are you wearing a hat? Oh, there's a hat. Never mind.
I put
do you
you
mean am I
I
wearing
threw you
a
on
hat? I'm
right
always wearing a
now.
hat.
and
I
on
know you're
Facebook
always
Live.
wearing a hat. I'm just saying, usually all we see, we don't even get to see your beautiful face. We just get to see the top of your hat.
You can see whatever you want, Bomber.
Well, that's me. That's not everybody else. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
We were talking before Adam Rosser from WHBF and Hawkeye headquarters are going to call in soon, but we were talking beforehand about the free agency and the trades that have been going on. We were talking a little bit about Nick Foles going to the Bears. I don't know how much it weighs on anybody, but Rosser's going to call in, and he's on the phone right now. Here we go. Yo, Rosso, you're on the air. ESPN 1170 AM. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Jay? How are you guys doing?
Doing
Hey.
good. Bomber's here. Serge is here. T-Roy had to step out, but you're with us, and we're happy to have you here, my friend. Last time we talked to you, it was they had just called the Big Ten tournament, so a lot of things have changed since then.
Yeah, is that a week ago?
Yeah,
a
it was
week
a week
ago or
ago.
a year ago, right?
Yeah,
It
I
feels
know.
like it's been forever ago with everything, but yeah, I mean, crazy time last week. Kind of the top of the bottom of the roller coaster that's been the last week, but just up and down and trying to figure all this stuff out. But yeah, that was kind of the precursor. I think we talked. They hadn't quite canceled the NCAA tournament, but I know we talked on air last week that was obviously going to happen in really immediate future, and just kind of everything, in limbo here right now, in the next, not only weeks, but I think the next few months.
What would say that again? Why for the next few months? What do you mean?
I just think you kind of look at the trajectory of some other countries. You look at, how long it actually takes for things to get to a point where we don't, once we hit the peak of all these outbreaks and kind of the peak of testing and everything else, just looking at, even going back to the 1918 pandemic, the flu pandemic, I think it was in the Dispatch or in the Times saying that, they had kind of a quarantine situation, and then some cities took it away, and then they had a spike again in people getting the flu. So I think, learning from history, that's always a good thing, and I think that we'll hopefully heed that and, maybe extend things and quarantine and social distance for a little bit longer in the up front here, and then hopefully, I would say Memorial Day or after, hopefully start to get some things back on the schedule sports-wise, whether it's, some of the interesting ideas I was reading about that Adam Silver brought up, whether it's having even a charity NBA game or having, some games without fans, doing different things, just trying to get people entertained and get their mind off, what's going on outside the realm of sports.
Well, we had brought that up too yesterday. Caker, and I forget who he cited, but yes, I know Adam Silver said he's not against these ideas, but we were just talking about a game of horse just between two guys, and it would even be better is if you just have someone who's retired and recently retired and then playing, just a game
MJ
of
versus
horse.
Shaq.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I'd pay money to see that.
But they're going to honestly they're going to find a way to capitalize on this. Everybody's going
Somebody better.
because you need to. I mean, you got to keep everything going. So, but yeah, now that looking back, when you say weeks and Memorial Day, it doesn't sound as odd as when you hear it on your ears. Because reading it, what the Chinese basketball league, they took 10 weeks off, right? Because they're scheduled to come back.
Something like that. I think it was right at the end of January, beginning of February is when they suspended everything and sent the guys home, or just said, hey, you'll be in quarantine or whatever. So, I mean, you're looking at least 2 months of that, and I don't think they finally started to not get new cases in the areas where it first started. So that was the end of December when that started. So just different things like that. And I think we finally, hopefully as a country have figured out to kind of look to these other places that we're behind right now to see what they had success with, what they did wrong, and hopefully flatten the curve, as everybody's saying. Hopefully over time we'll be able to have a little bit more success and hopefully mitigate the stress on the entire industries in this country, but obviously the healthcare at the top of the list.
I mean, again, it's the unknown, and I think more of anything. Yesterday when we talked about it, we said I know that I said I woke up and it was like, all right, what's going to happen next? And now it's like, got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and figure it out, because we got to show, in my case, I got to show my kids that back down from these things. We keep fighting forward, but it's strange without sports. And I know for you guys creating content and everything else, I mean, you just like us, you can only have so much where you're talking to guys who have lost their senior year or whatnot, or what's going to happen with Division I athletes. And you and I were the first ones to talk about it when I said I think they should give hardships to those athletes. Well, the NCAA has turned around and said that they're going to definitely do that for the spring athletes, those that are in, baseball, softball, soccer, whatnot, track and field, but nothing for the winter sports, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding. And I kind of had that hunch when we talked about the spring sports situation, and just with winter, there's just so many variables in there. The guys that played their season, the guys that that are coming in, scholarship limits, roster limits, I should say, amount of monies. Obviously the big time programs, they have funds, they have the ability. The money's not the issue, but maybe at some of these lower levels it is, to be able to carry more people, to be able to keep them on the roster, travel budgets, just anything like that I don't think the Blue Bloods would have any problems with, but just trying to make a unanimous policy across the NCAA is a lot tougher when there's different sports, there's different amount of scholarships, there's, some guys aren't partial, some guys aren't, there's, people recruiting a certain amount of guys, there's, if everybody gets a year, what happens to the guys that thought they were going to play, that think, I'm next off the bench, Ryan Kriener's leaving, well, now Ryan Kriener's staying another year, so do I transfer? Do I get a free transfer? Does it matter? It's just once you really start thinking about it and go into it, it just became more and more unlikely. And I think they came out with that yesterday or the day before, that they're, they didn't full on say it's the policy, but they were leaning toward not having that, which, like I said, at the end of the day, you kind of knew they were going to come to that conclusion. Hopefully they work everything out for spring sports. The tricky thing with spring sports, I talked to some guys over at Augustana, at that level, you're paying, even if you're getting some financial aid, you're paying tens of thousands of dollars to go to school for, at minimum, another semester, if not a whole year. A place like Augie doesn't have grad programs, so you're not able to get your master's degree. It's just extremely unlikely that at that level that you're going to do it. And, you also have jobs lined up. Obviously, part of the allure of going to liberal arts or smaller schools where you are certain to get out of there in 4 years is that a lot of times you have connections. So the the women's tennis player that I interviewed, she's already working at John Deere. I don't know if it's full time, but she has a gig lined up at John Deere, and she's out there. She said, I don't know if it's full time or part time, like during this semester. So that type of stuff, you're not gonna D3 or even D2, you're not gonna put that on the back burner. Like that's your career, 4 for 40, right? You're there 4 years for the next 40 years, and you do it for the love of the game. So that in that regard, that really sucks to me. I played D3. I just they put in a lot of work. It's not like a job like Division I, but these guys still care. These women still care about being on a team, winning, and trying to be successful, and they won't get to do that. So that's I love what SVP is doing on Sports Center with that senior night thing, because that really is you don't get to walk off with your friends one more time. You don't get to be honored at senior day. You don't get to have one more go around, one more BS session in the locker room. So it's sad, but I think if anybody is resilient enough to get past it, it's athletes, because that's that's how you're taught, that's how you're trained to get past the adversity and always look forward and always try to make the best out of a situation and control what you can control. And obviously this is nothing that athletes can control, so just try to get through it and try to focus on something else and hone your craft in different ways. I think I'm sure you guys are trying to do that. We're trying to do that here. Everybody's trying to just try different things and focus on things that maybe you wouldn't have before. Maybe work on a different aspect or try a new segment with sports radio or sports casting. So there's a bunch
reaching
of things
out to your resources, right? That's what you do. But I got to ask you something.
I think, yeah, go ahead.
It wouldn't be a Thursday if we didn't recklessly speculate with you. It was announced earlier that DJ Carton is going to transfer from Ohio State. Let's recklessly speculate. Where do you think he's going to end up?
Oh, boy. Well, so his finalists were Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, was it North Carolina? Were those four? Was Iowa State in there? I don't know. If you want to get, I'll give you the top two just because of what they've done in the last few years. I would say Nebraska.
Okay.
And I would say Iowa State, because Iowa State's now having some roster attrition. A couple guys transferring the last couple days. They don't have a lot of depth. You have to figure Halliburton's still going to go pro, even though he was injured at the end of the year. So they're going to have at least 4 or 5 guys off the roster regardless. And Nebraska, that's kind of what that's how he builds his programs at first, right? He brought in transfers at Iowa State to try to get a little bit, turn the program around quicker. He's doing that at Iowa. He already got the Kobe King kid coming next year to Lincoln. I don't know if he has to sit out or not. I don't know enough about that situation. I assume DJ would have to sit out, correct? Or could he get a waiver because it's a mental health issue? I don't know. So those two come to mind, and then obviously his other finalist, I would say, whether I know it was Michigan and I know it was Iowa. Again, I don't know. I don't know a lot about, behind the scenes what's going on.
Yeah. It's new.
Does he want to stay closer to this area? That obviously brings Iowa to the top of the list. So it's stuff like that. Like that's going to be a fascinating thing to watch here locally. If he does, you end up pulling it back to Iowa State, or like I said, I don't know why Nebraska popped into my head. I feel like he fits in Fred's system. We'll see. That to me kind of makes sense, actually.
We had a person ask, were you in the stadium when they announced the cancellation of the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I was. I was going to go grab a hot dog in the media room quick, because I think it was maybe, 20, 25 minutes till tip. So I wanted to be back on the floor when Rutgers and Michigan was coming out, just to get a couple shots of the empty arena and all that stuff. And I was walking out of the media room to grab something at where my computer was set up, and some guy goes, "It's canceled." I said, "What?" "Yep, everything's off."
Wow.
So then I just pivoted. I went out to the arena floor. The players were already off the floor. Shot a couple quick videos on my phone, and then the announcer came in and said the Big Ten tournament has been canceled. We're asking all personnel to clear the arena, clear the floor, and then we went back into the media area, figured out what was going on, read the email, and they told us Kevin Warren they were setting up for his press conference. And we did all that, and I thought he handled it well. I said that last week. Like, he said he's comfortable with erring on the side of caution, and I think with all the unknowns, he just said you got to do it, and then the dominoes fell after that, right? I think the first ACC, SEC, the Big East for some reason tipped off, but it just kept going, and I think I said last week when Gobert tested positive, and they cleared that arena and suspended the game, I think deep down all of us knew it probably was the beginning of the end of most of these
the domino
events
effect of everything
for the next few weeks. Exactly.
For sure.
Rosso, outside of work, which you cover sports, but you are a sports guy just like we are. What are you doing with your free time? How are you making up for this?
Don't say it unless it's PG-13.
How are you making up for this?
You know what? I'll give you my rundown of last weekend. I rearranged my living room in my apartment, cleaned, rearranged my living room in my apartment.
And washed all my sneakers.
The gym was still open, so I got to do that. The last couple days I've worked out outside on like a mat. And then yesterday, because it was raining, I was inside doing some yoga and some stretching.
Wow.
I do like to cook and stuff like that, so I can't even remember what I did last weekend, if I made anything. Yeah, I made some chicken. I made some teriyaki chicken with some roasted broccoli. The teriyaki sauce was a little bit too salty.
It was a little too salty.
Out there. I have, when I make my own teriyaki sauce, I feel like the soy sauce makes it so dang salty every time.
Soy sauce is just pure MSG.
To work on that.
Come on.
Yeah, today I actually bought some.
Low sodium?
Tuna salad. I bought some tuna, so I'm going to make some tuna salad and have some tuna melts. A lot of cooking. Sports-wise, I tweeted this. I watched the Elite Eight game with Duke and Michigan State last year because I was in Greensboro covering the women, so I didn't really get to watch much of that game. I watched the end, and that was about it. That was a pretty good basketball game. I hadn't, followed it from start to finish. Obviously, Zion was just a force there for a while, and Michigan State wins it at the end. So doing that, honestly, trying to keep in touch with my parents, my sisters, just making sure everybody's okay. I've talked to them a lot more this week. I think that's the biggest thing for me is, and even Jay reached out to me, Jay Kidwell, over the weekend said if you get bored or you kind of get in a bad spot where you're just mentally checked out and frustrated, like let me know, like give me a call, we can talk, we can do something. Just I think that's the longer this goes, I think that's going to be the key for everybody.
For everybody.
Any advice? Just try to get out, try to stay active. Try when it's sunny, get out, walk around, do something. Check in on your friends, your family. Just it's that type of thing, where I think we're going to get through this. Obviously, I think the best way to do this is together, and I feel like we've started to move toward that after the initial shock of everything in the last week. I think people are, whether it's supporting the small businesses in town that still are doing carry-outs, whether it's, checking on elderly, whether it's these grocery stores that are, allowing high-risk and elderly people in there early in the morning, closing down the places earlier to restock and clean, just stuff like that, we're trying to do this together. I'm putting something together today. That's why I'm cranking away here this afternoon. I got 16 of Iowa's unforgettable moments in March. We're going to count it down. We're going to have you guys vote on it. We're going to put the poll on the website.
That's great.
Something to do.
We got the number one seed. I mean, I've been in the archives. I've been down in our basement. I've been on YouTube and trying to find all this video. So, first, the number one seed, we got the Elite Eight win over Georgetown in 1980, taking on the 16 seed, which is the second-round win over UTEP, Don Haskins and UTEP in 1987 on the way to the Elite Eight. So, we got a bunch of those. They're going to run every day here for the next few days. We're going to have people vote on them. Just bring smiles on the faces. We'll throw in a couple of the heartbreakers.
I have to tell you, you'd be really proud of me. Remember last time you were in, you're like, God, do you always get, do you dress up to go do the radio? Like, you always get dressed. I'm wearing yoga pants and slippers today and a hoodie.
There you go.
I channeled my inner Rasso. That's what I did.
I tell you what, I think, and my sister's at home. She's in St. Paul. She's a lawyer. She's working from home, and we were talking. The biggest thing is, and this is also, I can use this as a sports metaphor, is getting in a routine every day, right?
Yeah.
I've still been coming down here. We haven't been interviewing as many people in person, but just still get up, make your coffee, have your breakfast, take your shower. Like, just try to be in a routine, even if you're not going anywhere.
I try to stick to my same routine. I keep asking people if they want anything to drink, and nobody answers.
Yes.
I yell last call, but nobody argues. It's kind of nice.
No, but I really did think of you today when I put my slippers on instead of my shoes, and I was like, see, I don't dress up every day when I go do the radio. It was fun.
Well, I think go ahead, yeah.
No, you go ahead, Rosso. Go ahead.
I just think we haven't thought here much. We're like Jay and I said, we're trying to be positive. We're trying to do some unique things. The interesting thing for me, sports-wise, and we'll get into it long term, but the next few months are pretty big AAU basketball months. They're pretty big junior day visits on the Iowa or any of these campuses for football. Spring football, no spring football. How do these programs? What are they going to do if the first time they get to practice is August 2nd, right?
I can't even imagine.
The first time they're back on the field. What happens? It's a very. I mean, here again, we're trying to take a negative situation or just a tough situation and try to figure out what's this going to do to the recruiting classes.
Nobody knows.
What's it going to do to guys that think about Joe Wieskamp, how much his stock kept rising because of AAU, because he was out there. Same with DJ. The 2 years that they got, sophomore to junior and junior to senior, they were lights out on the AAU circuit. Well, now those guys might not have that. So how do teams evaluate prospects? How, junior days, they like seeing guys in person, seeing how they compete. How do they evaluate? Well, how is this going to change? Maybe they change it for the better. Maybe some of these people will say, you know what? We're not getting anything out of half these AAU tournaments anyway. We're not going to them. Or, you know what? Instead of having 4 junior days, maybe we'll only need 1 because we don't need that many. I think that's it could. And you want to talk about NBA or MLB? We talked about, I think, earlier this week about trying different things. Is this going to change the NBA schedule forever?
I've been saying this for a week now. The NBA has changed how we know what the schedule. I've been hammering this that they're going to adapt to this, and it will always be this way from here on out. That you will see that the NBA championship now will be played in early August. I strongly believe this. It will.
It's crazy.
It'll
to me.
never. It's going to change the way, and it's just going to become a way of life.
Well, it's funny because we talked about why XFL or the AAF or any of these football leagues weren't successful. It's because they're going against March Madness, the NBA, the NFL, or the NHL. And if they wanted to do something, have it. What do we say? Have it in June. Have it in July, where you've got baseball and that's it.
Yep.
And I agree with you. I think that if they try something here in the summer, whether it's just a tournament with the Elam ending, whether it's best of 3 series, whatever it is, and they do well in kind of the dead period from, June until training camp at the end of July, man, I think that I agree with you. I think it could be a seismic change. And as a sports fan, as a guy that covers it, I welcome that. There are plenty of summer nights where I'm outside doing stuff, but you're like, oh man, I got, the Twins are playing at 9:30 on the West Coast. I got nothing from 6 to 9. Hey, I'd watch some basketball.
Absolutely.
No questions asked, So I think that's, and I have confidence that, everybody's going to be trying new things, but I feel like just with the leadership of the NBA and the kind of forward thinking that we always see with them compared to the rest of the sports leagues, I feel like you're dead on with that that's going to be, the NBA is going to try it, and if it works, that's how it's going to be forever.
All right, real quick, how can everybody follow and vote on the top 16 moments for Iowa basketball?
Yep, so we're getting it. First one tonight, I believe we're just running 1 tonight. I still got to record them actually here in the studio, but we're going to run them in sports. Some days there'll be 2. So today it'll be the 116 matchup. I think tomorrow we might do 2 and do the 413 and the 512 together.
Yep.
And so basically I'll have the highlights and just talk about the game, what happened, the situation. And then we'll post it to the website. We'll go HawkeyeHQ.com. It'll also be ourquadcities.com. We'll have it on Facebook, Twitter. And then we'll just have the voting open for a few days on that website. You can watch the video. I'll have the text in there just going over it. And then, whichever of those 2 moves on, the 1 and the 16 seed, then next week we'll have them play the 8 or the 9 seed in the Elite 8, if you will. We're going to count it down, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, and then obviously have the championship and have the champion crowned. And if I'm way off in my rankings, that'll show based on what Hawk fans and everybody else feels about the importance of all these moments. You know, and like I said, I threw in a couple losses because seismically, I feel like, you know, a couple of the most shocking losses in Iowa history were in the NCAA tournament. So just that type of stuff. But we'll do that every day here, the end of the week, maybe into Monday. Restart it next Thursday. Obviously, this would have been the first day of games, so that's kind of what we're trying to run it parallel with that, and hopefully take some people's mind off it, give them a little bit of basketball and something to reflect on and enjoy here for the next few weeks while we adjust to this new schedule.
All right, so make sure to follow Hawkeye Headquarters on Facebook, on Twitter, and it's Adam J. Rosso on Twitter as well. Rosso, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, sounds good, you guys. Thanks.
Right,
Bye, Rosso. Thank you.
All right, that's Adam Rosso from WHBF and Hawkeye Headquarters. Yeah, great interview. Always good talking to him.
Yeah, I like listening to him. He's easy to listen to.
I know, but there's not a pep in a step.
Well, because he's missing his livelihood right now.
I mean he's still got things going on. I mean, that's great that he put down the top 60 moments. That's thinking out of the box.
He's doing something.
Like when he texted me, I'm like, well, we're just gonna make.
That's cool.
I go when he texted, he's like, what's going on? What do we do? This in general type of thing. And this was just him and I talking, and I just said, I'm gonna throw so many bits at the wall. And if one sticks, they do. They don't, you know. So
I still think we should do like children competitions via online, like your kids versus my kids.
I love it.
Let's do the 100-yard dash. Let's do.
I will say this: my friend Emily Van Buskirk, she got me in touch with Joey Chestnut, and I still think that the food competition is going to happen, and we'll have Joey Chestnut call in and talk to us real soon.
He can be a judge.
You guys have a hassle-free Thursday. Enjoy yourselves. Serge, seriously, shut up, Serge.
I know.
Honestly, like just
racking my brain on what to do the rest of the day, bud.
just stop.
You got one word in that sentence, right?
All right. You guys take care. Enjoy yourselves.
Love, peace, and chicken grace.